Shit. Get my stuff ready. What's up, guys? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Appreciate you guys. I need to open my Google Drive folder. My thing's not fitting the screen. They changed the green screen thing. Like I can't use the green screen that I usually use. I'm gonna have to figure out what's up with that. It's not a huge deal, but the thing's like all stretched for some reason. But the main message is visible. And they don't provide evidence anyway, so it really doesn't matter that they read that part. What's up, Riz? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? I'm a little late. I slammed down a pizza, or well, small pizza, not a whole pizza, right? Although I could slam down a whole pizza. Don't tempt me with a good time. I need to open up my TikTok as well. What's up? What's up? Oh shit! Hold on. What up? What up? What up? I'm hoping tonight goes better than last night. If it's as frustrating as it was last night, I'll probably just get off. But I'm hoping it goes better. Last night's live was not very good. But we'll see. Like the green screen thing that I usually use is not like working, and if I use this green screen, then my face covers up the prompt. So I have like a dilemma here, you know what I mean? Because I know sooner or later it's gonna tell me that I should turn my camera on, and it is on. It's just not, there's nothing happening. It's gonna think it's like a still image or whatever, unless I keep my hand here and I use this mouse that's on my laptop. I don't know. This is also my backup account because my other one got banned last night. It's my fault. That one's my fault. But damn, bro. You know? Just damn. Let me get my messages open. No, this one's my fault. I can't bite my tongue sometimes. I mean, actually, truthfully, I can. I just choose not to. If I'm being, completely honest. But it sucks. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody needs a ban every once in a while to remind you that there's a life outside of TikTok, right? I can't. Me neither. It was worth it. Yeah, it's almost always worth it to some extent. Right? It's like a pat on the back, right? It's kind of like a slap in the face and a pat on the back, like simultaneously. But I don't know if we're gonna yield a lot of fruit tonight, considering it is a backup account. I'm pretty sure this one's shadow banned too. It was last time I used it. I couldn't get over 20 viewers. Clearly edited. You can't edit. I mean, I guess technically you could. But it's funny how like there's no aperture that you can put on a camera that will turn a curving horizon into a flat one, right? But there's plenty of apertures that you can use that turn a flat horizon into a curving one. And that's why sometimes you see the horizon curving up in videos just as often as you see it curving down. But there's not a single lens that you can apply to a camera that'll do the opposite. Not real. That's a weird opinion, bro. I mean, I don't know why you're does it anger you? Does reality isn't this what you experience in reality? Like isn't this how you see a horizon? Every time you see one? When it's not on TV? Maybe I should preface by saying that. Like if you witness it with your own eyes, isn't this how you observe the earth? Yeah, I don't think this account is gonna work, guys. We might be We might have to just call it a night. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I could ask you guys to like and share, but I don't think that even works. When you're shadow banned, I don't think it matters. Like, truthfully. I mean, I do have a guest, but I can't imagine. I mean, we'll try it. Very
What's up?
Well, let me turn your volume up on my headphones. There you go, buddy. What's going on?
What's up? How you doing?
What's up, bro?
Do you have a reason to think that this flat?
We experience it that way every day. That's reason enough.
What do you mean?
That's reason enough to come to a logical conclusion that the Earth would be flat and stationary. And if somebody were to walk up to you and claim that it was a spinning ball orbiting the sun, they would have burden of proof. I mean, the obvious world around you presents itself as if the Earth is flat and stationary. That is
Are
the
you
biggest reason.
are you talking about how we can't really see the Earth curve when you look into the distance?
I'm aware. Yeah, I'm glad you're catching up, buddy. It's the way that you experience the Earth. Like, that's, I don't know why that's like a pulling teeth contest for people. It's like you can't wrap your head around it. I don't know. It's hard, I guess.
Now, I don't know the exact terms or wording for this. This is not my area of expertise. There's a muscle or the whatever they're called in your eye that flips everything over and basically tries to even it out as
That
best
is
it can for
true.
you.
Yeah, that is
And that's
true.
basically
But
the
that
reason we
doesn't,
can't
but
really see beyond that.
no,
Also,
no, that has nothing to do with anything.
it does.
That's just a, no, can you explain how that makes a flat horizon appear even though it's curving? Like, it would
Because the
just
way
be an
we
upside down flat
because the way we take
because
it,
it, listen, brother, listen. It would just be an upside down flat horizon. It would still be flat.
plan of view.
I know, no, it literally all it does is invert it. Your brain actually does that. Your brain flips it and turns it right side up. Times, what?
I've been to space.
Yeah, yeah, that's. Do you want to take the conversation seriously or should I let you go?
Oh, you don't? Do you want me to show you? Well, actually, I can't turn my camera on. I can send you a picture I took with my some friends.
No, you're okay. Have a nice night. Thanks, Caleb. I appreciate it, bro. This is my backup, and last time I used this account, I couldn't break 20 viewers, so I'm not too hopeful, but I gotta give it a shot. I got a new, and figured all I had to do was pay taxes on it. Can you zoom into the moon with it? No, it's still only. You know what's funny is but I'm gonna have to watch a YouTube video on that or something because I can't get it to go past yeah, right here. And I could turn the camera on to show you. Move back a little bit. And you just zoom out. Since you just don't understand magnetism. Bring it back in. That's literally what the video is showing you, but okay. Can't, it's flat. Yeah. To see a video on it? A video on what? I'm scrolling back through comments that I missed. Yeah, if you're arguing with people in my comments, to be back and forth with people in the comment section, bro. I gotta get what I need to say needs to come out, and I need a response like yesterday, bro. Like, I'm too impatient to sit here and read back and forth comments, and I'm way too impatient to go back and forth with someone in the comments. Like, couldn't be me, bro. It's amazing to me, man. You guys probably work like you go home and you just get on TikTok and start arguing with people in comment sections. Like, that's how you spend your free time. I mean, I'm not hating on it, bro, but I think your time could be better spent. Eh. I literally this account doesn't get engagement, bro. My other one barely does either. It just depends. Sometimes TikTok lets me, you know. I've probably responded to like 10 comments from Globies. Just it just defeats the purpose. Um, they're not even reading that shit, so why even bother typing it? Basically, it's almost like when you're talking to someone and they're not listening to you. That's how I look at it. Keep producing music content for a chance to get featured on the Music Live Spotlight? Fuck that. What are you talking about? Music content. You guys hear? Thank you. Grand evening. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming, guys. Sorry my live is boring. I don't know what else to do. I'm trying. I'm in to some degree. Flat Earth person always thinks they're right. Actually, no. We usually admit when we're wrong. That's kind of how you become a flat earther. If I could get a guest, I can almost guarantee that it'll be funny. These guys say the funniest shit. Have you heard these people talk? They think the Earth's orbiting the sun, bro. It's hilarious. But I just can't get anybody to actually engage in discussion. I just get trolls in my comments. Because the only people that regularly attend my lives are basically robot accounts. Yeah, you wouldn't doubt it? No, it's a real thing. I can't confirm or deny it. Just sometimes it feels that way. I mean, it's okay. It's one of two things, right? It's either actual robots or people that think like robots. So honestly, what's the real difference? I wasn't sure because then I started to say it and I was like, is that it? I don't know. Also, what's up, Shannon? What's up, Curvature? What's up, guys? So, voice of reason is a rare occurrence. Yeah, I guess. Backing, bro. Like, how am I supposed to even know how to respond to that? There's no context. It's just this vague, open ended question. That's it, harvesting. I wish everyone would listen about the blocking part. Yup. Oh. It's weird because you'll literally hear these people on. So it's like hypocrisy too to boot. Like, yeah, I will say it's like I don't know. Maybe I can't say too much. I don't like doing it out in public, bro. I prefer to. I don't want to address people in a public setting. Do you know what I mean? Meeting aliens are infinitely more likely than Earth being flat. You can have aliens on a flat Earth, brother. The word alien just means unknown. That's literally the definition of the word. I'm just gonna start inviting you dummies. Oh, I can't. Okay, if I can't invite you. Not accounts. It's okay. It's one of two things, right? Either it's just okay, it could be one of three things. I'll give it three possibilities, right? It's just a random loser on what's today, Sunday, on a Sunday night with nothing else to do but type meaningless jargon. He just happened to stumble into my live, right? Just a hell of a coincidence. Or it's a robot. Okay, that's option B. Option C is that it's people that I already do have blocked, just obsessed with me, which the latter two possibilities are way more likely in my opinion, but no evidence shows it's a globe. Yeah, there's no evidence of curvature or motion, bro. How far is Russia from Alaska? Roughly the same distance it is on a sphere. Why would that change? That's literally almost as northern hemisphere as you can get. That's like almost as far north as you can get. Why would that change? You guys ask such dumb questions, bro. Like, it's never like, yo, like, what, and I don't, even when you do ask, like, what got us into, you know what I mean? It's not with like a general interest, genuine interest, rather. You guys just ask the dumbest questions, bro. Flat Earth map didn't say that? Okay. Glad you have a flat Earth map. Because I sure as fuck don't. We're not on a spinning ball. 1? Did I say type 1? I don't even remember saying that. I know that's not uncommon for me to do that, but dude, I'm trying so fucking hard, bro. I like keep your live engaging. I can't turn my camera on because TikTok changed. You see the thing that it's making me use? It won't let me use the other green screen. So I'm just gonna wave my hand around like a dummy. Because if I put my face up here, then I gotta hold my camera like at an angle so that you can still read it. Because they won't let me use the other green screen. Found Globers are the same. I don't really understand what a liberal is, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never had any interest in the political anything. I've never voted. First year I was old enough to vote, and to this day I couldn't tell you the difference between a Republican and a Democrat. I couldn't tell you which one's what. I don't even know which one's red or blue. Like, occupy space in my brain. There's too much other stuff going on in there. They don't think for themselves, yeah. Never even registered, dude. I don't even know how you do that. I don't even know how you do it. I think you go to like the library or something. I don't fucking know. Fucking don't, nope. It tells a it says a lot right off the bat, you know? It's like, yeah, you know, license. Where are the guests? Bro, they're all pussy. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. I can't say that because then the live will get restricted and I'll get pissed off and shut it down, but I'm already at that point anyway. Picture retaken? Shit, dude, I must have been like zombie. You could get your face tattooed. You could go bald. Like, used to be like 60. Wow. So weird. I would show you guys my driver's license, but it has my homie's old address, or well, my old homie's address on it. I don't want to do that, but it has like a cactus on it in a certain way. It like disappears and reappears. It's actually Las Vegas. Well, what happens in Vegas, right? Stays on your driver's license for 8 years. That was a really bad joke. Solly, shut the fuck up. Step your game up. What are you doing? Lived in Arizona 25 years ago. Also bought out of the newspaper. All of our faces every time you, like, even right now with me doing a live, you do it too. What evidence do you have that, bro? Please get the fuck up here and ask me your stupid questions. I'm like, dude, if this does not work out, you guys won't see me for like a week. I promise you. I'm not restarting the live. If I get a restriction, I'm done. I'm not coming back for like 4 or 5 days, like minimum. I promise, bro. Cannot do this shit consistently. It's too hard. It's too hard to get guests. It's too hard to have and even when I do get a guest, it's some dumb fucking idiot that thinks we came from an impossibility. But whatever, bro. Like, I'm trying. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. And you know what? You guys are here for it, and I love it. I don't know why. I don't know why you guys are even still here, bro. I had a fucking left 10 minutes ago. If I was scrolling through TikTok and this was all that was happening, I'd have fucking dipped. So I love you guys. You guys are real as fuck. You guys are really cool people. Very supportive, very helpful. And I wish I could give you more. I wish I could do more. But this is the best I can do, man. It's not up to me all the time, you know? It's not up to me. I'll request if you can give me. No, dude, you're not gonna do that even if I do. So what's the point? If you have to, dude, if you have to make me read what you're saying, I don't want to engage in a conversation with you. All right? We're not passing notes around like middle schoolers. It's fun to watch you slam the globies. I try. I try. I try. I try. I try. I'm just gonna have to start infiltrating Globe Lives, bro. Like, it's the only way I can get a conversation going, you know? I'm just gonna have to start unblocking. I really want to do it. When there's more than one person up there, you can't have a conversation. Even if it's just one person, you can't have a conversation. You think Shift is live? Yeah. Dude, that shit was so bad last night, bro. You literally had him say, I don't need to know what science is. Like, okay, bro. I don't need to know what magnetics are pointing. Yeah, he's so stupid. It's like, what? Oh, my comments are getting muted. Why is that happening? You're asking him for evidence that the earth is flat, and he's giving it to you, and you're just too stupid to understand the terminology. Fuck me about him, but I'll just leave it at that. There's no hope for that guy. I really don't think so. I don't know how old he is, but if he's made it that far in life and that's like at the level of intelligence that he's achieved, dude, he could live for 5,000 years and still not be smart. Like, it's just he doesn't have any interest in learning. The comments are getting filtered for some reason. I think because I have a new phone, and I had to re-download. Well, I didn't have to re-download anything, but I had to re-log in to TikTok, and like I had to change it to dark mode and like do all the regular settings and stuff. And I think there was a few things that I missed because I think automatically it starts filtering out comments depending on what you say, and I don't think I turned that off. It's just not something that I thought of before going live. All right, 46 viewers, and still nobody wants to provide evidence that the Earth is orbiting the sun. 30 kilometers a second, guys. That's how fast we're moving. 30 kilometers a second. Ichi, how long have I been live, dude? How many seconds would that even be? Almost 30 minutes. 30 times 60. That's a lot of fucking kilometers, bro. I'm not gonna do the math. Too lazy. Anyway. This picture is actually moving really fast. Yeah, yeah, the pictures, it just looks still because time slows down and the picture expands. And it's just the perfect amount to where the picture looks like it's sitting still. That's what's happening. Was flat smacking on Fab's live, bro? I missed it. What the fuck am I doing over, dude? Have I had dude, Newton? I should have just ended the live and watched you do that because I've been here for fucking 30 minutes. I've had one guest, and he told his best evidence was to tell me that he's been to space with his friends. Just literally not taking the conversation seriously at all. I hate those people. They're the worst. I mean, they're all the worst, honestly. They're all just different flavors of worse, you know? What up, fellow flirts? What up, bro? Reason it looks stationary is because of gravity. Why are you? Oh, that's what's up, Jonathan. I see what you're doing, bro. You're helping the algorithm. I was like, why are you typing one letter at a time? But thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could try to boost the algo. We get up to 10K, it might do something. I've had one guest, and I have 50 people in here, but it's all just the homies. Like it's just the homies that are here, which dude, I love that. You guys are amazing. You guys are like, what's the word I'm looking for? Devout. Like that's maybe that gives some negative connotation, but you guys are like loyal, and I love that. You guys are amazing. And I don't want to like I feel like it's wasted though. I mean, not in that sense, but I feel like we have a lot of really cool people here that support my lives and stuff, and I feel like I can't even give you guys what you want. Like I feel like my potential is wasted in some ways sometimes. Caleb's coming up. This is my fave. Thanks, bro.
Yo.
Yo, yo.
Dude, it's refreshing to see a live that's actually trying to talk about the Earth, dude. I'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, at least we have that going, right?
Yeah, you've got that going over pretty much every other live other than Fabulously Blocked live right now.
I was gonna say, dude, there's not even a lot of other lives. Like, and the ones that are on, it's like they're never even talking about the Earth.
It's
So
just the
it's
same
weird.
people every day sitting on the panel, the same 6 or 7 people sitting in one room.
I know exactly the group that you're referencing to. It's so sad. Like that doesn't require like any. I don't need any more information. I know like all of those people. Hold on, I gotta unblock your comment, bud. How do I change that? Can I change that while I'm live? Community flag comments.
Dude, I don't know
Turn
what's
that
going
off,
on with your
turn that off,
comments,
turn
but
that
they're
off.
like filtering your comments. Like I'm having to like
Yeah,
make stuff be able to be seen.
Yeah, I had to turn on, I had to change the setting because I had to log in. I got a new phone today. I had to log into TikTok and it went back to like default basically. So I had to like redo some stuff and I thought I got everything, but obviously I missed that. Thanks, Newton. You guys are amazing. You got up to 67. Yeah, I love you guys so much. I wish there were Globies here, bro. I really do. Be incredible. Can you see this? Yes, yeah, we see you, bro. Oops. If you scroll to the next live and scroll back, the comment is gone. It was censored. I just turned off the filtering, so hopefully that won't happen anymore. Hopefully it won't auto flag your comments anymore. Although even the comments that I was reading didn't seem like they should have been flagged, but TikTok's just super sensitive, man.
Yeah, some of the comments were just like basic questions that are getting filtered. Like what?
Yeah, I know. You mean people that
Like, why don't we see Mount Everest from California? Like stuff like that. Bro, I can't, bro. These Glovers, dude, they crack me up, dude.
It's literally the exact same questions. Like, how do you not believe that you're reading from a script right now? What's up, Marco? What's up, man?
What's up?
What's up, bro? Do you happen to have evidence that the Earth is in motion or curving?
I actually wanted to ask a specific question to you guys. I actually messaged Caleb about it.
I asked you a question specifically, though. Like,
I think that like the sun's motion and the star's motion imply that we're not on a flat plane. Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So if we're assuming that the Tropic of Capricorn is a bigger circle than the Tropic of Cancer, then it's implying that the sun is moving more distance on the Tropic of Capricorn, right?
Yeah, it would essentially have to speed up in order to maintain the same 15 degrees an hour. Yeah.
Right. So why is it that places in the southern hemisphere, and I'm not talking about like far south because I've heard you guys talk about the like the reflection off the dome and that kind of stuff for answers about the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I'm talking about like locations on the Tropic of Capricorn that are still pretty close to the equator. Why do they see like 14 hours of sunlight during the December solstice if the sun is moving so fast overhead? It should be further away during their sunset and their sunrise than a location on the Tropic of Cancer during their June solstice.
Do you want to attack this, Solly, or you want me to?
You can, yeah, you can. I actually had a text message. I missed the last part of that, but I wouldn't be able to answer it anyway, probably.
The way that we would explain it, like the phenomenon, have you ever heard of like coffee cup caustic?
No, I haven't.
So essentially, we would essentially explain that by the dome wrapping the light of the sun around the bottom edge of it, which you'll see with like a coffee cup. If you shine a light into it, it'll like wrap around the rim. So, and it'll intensify the light a little bit. So that's how you would explain that.
I can bring up a picture of that. Give me a sec.
Is that referring to sunlight in general, like twilight kind of stuff, or like direct sunlight where you can see the sun?
Light in general, when it hits a curved surface like that, it's gonna bend around like a coffee
Yeah,
cup.
You could see a physical sun for over 12 hours, like 13 to 14 hours on the Tropic of Capricorn during December.
Yeah, but what you're referencing is like when they get it for 16 or 17 hours, right? They're not seeing the sun.
No, I don't think the Tropic of Capricorn gets that much sun. It's too far north.
Yeah,
But
as
it's
far
over
as the
12
north,
hours.
what time of the year?
During the December solstice, right? That's when it's on Capricorn. It's like the shortest days in the northern hemisphere and the longest days in the southern hemisphere, right? So that's when the sun is on the Tropic of Capricorn.
So you're saying in the Tropic of Capricorn, they're seeing the sun for 12 hours?
No, they're seeing it for over 12 hours. They're seeing it for like 14 hours or something like that. Look, cities that are on the Tropic of Capricorn, they're at their solar noon, it's directly overhead, right?
Well, it's saying like the Tropic of Capricorn is a very large area. Can you be more specific, like what latitude or longitude?
When I was looking at it, I was looking at like Paraguay, but I'm not sure exactly what city in Paraguay. It doesn't need to be exactly on the Tropic of Capricorn. It could be close, but I think it's like 23.5 degrees south.
So the problem with this is like you need like a specific claim, like you need a date, you need a time of year.
Okay. I already said the December solstice.
So December 21st.
Yeah.
So December 21st, Paraguay sees the sun for 12 hours.
More than that, but yeah, you could just type in like Asuncion. I'm guessing it's probably within the tropics, so it'll probably be less time there.
And what's the problem with that?
The problem is when you look at their sunset and their sunrise times, and you look at like a map of how far away the sun is from them, and then you compare it to places in the northern hemisphere. Like if you look at the northern coast of Alaska, just look how close the sun is on a flat Earth map to the northern coast of Alaska. It's way closer than it would be to Paraguay.
We don't claim any map is accurate, though. That's a time zone. That's a time chart, not a map, by the way.
So do you disagree that longitude lines align with like the same solar noon?
Not on a flat Earth map. That's a time chart, not a flat Earth map.
But it does align with solar noon.
What does that mean to me, that sentence?
Solar noon is when the sun would be like you're not going to set like only the stuff within the tropic get the sun directly overhead. So solar noon is when it's like if your field of view is 180 degrees, it would be like 90 degrees. It doesn't need to be straight overhead, but like left to right, it would be in the middle. And that aligns with the longitudinal lines.
And
so you're claiming that the map isn't accurate, but it does show longitudinal lines.
Yeah, because it had to be published. You have to follow the globe Earth coordinate system. That was made that was decreed in like the 1700s. Gleason himself wrote about this. He was very upset about it.
Yeah, there was a king that made it so that you have to use the globe coordinates to have a map published. You have to use the coordinates that are attributed to a sphere.
Hence why it's not accurate. It's a flat Earth depiction with globe Earth coordinates. It's not accurate. We don't have an accurate map.
Yeah.
So you think that the southern hemisphere is bigger, but that the flat Earth map isn't accurate? Or the Gleason's map, I should say, not the
There's
flat
just
Earth
no
map.
flat Earth map. That's just it. That's a time chart. It's an azimuthal
Why wouldn't we
equidistant
be able to
projection.
create a flat Earth map? Like what's keeping us from doing that?
How do you map the surface of the ocean? How do you map it accurately?
Couldn't you just
Yeah, I
like
mean,
have a compass, use
well,
a
can we listen to what you're asking, right? Like, what if
yeah?
I asked you to develop a heliocentric model right now? Like, how would you go about doing it as a single person, even if you got a group of your 100 best friends, right? People that
Hmm.
you trust and people that you know would support you. Do you still think you'd be able to do it? Like, it's a pretty far ask. It's
Well,
pretty large ask, right?
over a long period of time, we have mapped the Earth, and we're claiming it to be a globe. So I don't
Well,
think it's like
it's
out of the
okay. I can
question to
tell
be able to say,
you.
can you make an accurate map? Like what
Well, no,
what is
I
it
can
about the
tell you
Gleason's map that isn't accurate?
Well, I can tell you definitively that you haven't mapped the Earth because there's no measurable curvature, and we don't treat the Earth as if it's a sphere when we fly aircraft or when we build infrastructure. So, like, you guys fucked up too. You guys have a wrong model,
Did
and
you guys
it's
did
just
you
that
guys
he
take
said,
calculus?
"What are you talking about, bro? We're talking about curvature of Earth, or is that how you're getting to this?
I'm
Is that
I'm
what
gonna
you're getting
get
at?"
to it because in calculus, when you like do like a Riemann sum to figure out the area from under a like parabolic function, you're assuming like infinitely small rectangles. Like there's obviously flat planes on Earth, but it doesn't last forever. Like there's flat places on Earth. In the same way, when you're like trying to figure out the area under an integral, you're assuming that it's flat, but you make the distance between like how many intervals you're measuring so small that it ends up being a curve. Like when they solved for pi, when they were like trying to find pi, they did polygon. What's it called? Like they pretty much like did a polygon that's like 10 sides, and they would go up to like 300
So
sides to get it
you didn't.
approximately a circle.
You're not really addressing my claim though. Like, we fly airplanes and we don't adjust for physical curvature of Earth. Like, that's a
We,
fact. Like, we
we do.
Also,
okay,
no.
how?
Also, in basic surveying, we don't measure curvature. That's called plane surveying. Like, do you know the max distance that you make an observation when you're doing surveying?
How far?
To be accurate, like 500 feet to 1,000 feet.
Hmm.
And we claim the circumference of the Earth is 24,900 miles. So, like,
With no
how much
evidence of
degrees?
that.
No, but that's what we claim, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty fantastical
And
claim. I agree.
how small of a percentage of the circumference of Earth is that covering?
Well, just this, like, I think
You can.
the problem is that you made a positive claim, bro. Like, with no
What did I
evidence of
make?
it, right?
What
The
positive claim did I make?
24901, the 24901 being the circumference. You said that's a claim that we
I
make. Yeah. And it's okay, so let's circle back,
Is
right?
that wrong? Is
24
that not what Globers claim?
can okay, I'm attempting to, like, attack your argument, right? Just allow me to do so. Right? 24901 circumference, 3,959 mile radius value. That would give you an 8 inches per mile squared parabolic approximation, good up to at least 1,000 miles, depending on who you ask. Um, we falsify that on a daily basis when we fly aircraft. And then I said, then you said that airplanes actually do compensate for curvature, and I kind of want to hear more on that, truthfully.
I'm not a pilot. I'm just saying that
Me neither.
staying
talked to-
level on a it's like claiming do I accommodate for curvature while I'm walking. I'm covering such a
That's
small
actually
distance.
no, that's completely different, bro. And no, we
Plane
travel the
flies a
entire.
lot
We tra-
faster than you walk.
No, that
and
is
it
true.
flies a lot
but
farther.
it's
It
still
flies a
like a
lot farther
minimal
too.
distance compared to Earth.
Just okay. Let me, dude. Do we not travel over the entire Earth all day long using aircraft from continent to
do.
continent?
We do.
Okay, so that's just a null argument, right? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's silly. For you to compare it to walking, it's just a direct false equivalency, bro. You can't do
Yeah,
that.
because
That's
over
not
time,
fair.
it's like as you move, gravity stays normal to the surface of Earth.
It's assuming gravity's real, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, gravity stays normal. Is that what you said?
like the globe claims that
What if
gravity is pointing towards the
What
center
if
of a
what if the
of
plane
a sphere,
flies
right?
through a lightning storm? Does gravity still stay the same? No,
Say
I'm
that
not
again.
gonna do that. Nothing, bro. Nothing.
Okay.
It's just a joke that I made. Um, Gravity. Okay, so of course this conversation is always gonna end up talking about gravity to one extent or another. What is your understanding of gravity? What is it?
I'm not gonna pretend to know all the like. I'm not a physicist, but
Weird. I don't remember getting a physics degree either myself. But I
do you
don't
know
have a
what it
problem
is?
discussing it.
I mean,
The
as
most
far as
up-to-date
the
current
last thing I
understanding.
heard is that it's like bending of space time around huge mass
Yeah, you're not
bodies.
too
Like,
far off. So
yeah,
you believe that's what's causing airplanes to not have to adjust for curvature over the
I'm
Earth? You believe
I'm not claiming to understand how gravity works, but I definitely observe something that people call gravity. But I'm not going to
Yeah,
sit
we
here and act like
observe.
I'm an
Yeah,
expert on the field.
we observe downward acceleration. Yeah, that's just an
Yeah.
effect, though. That we cause has never been verified or proven. Right? It's all theoretical
Hmm.
as to what's actually causing that. But um, I don't know, man. I don't. Caleb, do you have anything? This
Like, if
conversation.
you were to describe what space time is, like, what do you even think that word means?
To be honest, I've tried to understand it. Like, I had like a modern physics class where they talked about like relativity and like bending around space time, and it's very hard to conceptually understand. So I don't feel comfortable. Like, I haven't looked at it in a long time.
So you don't believe in it, right?
I don't. Maybe it's possible that I don't believe in it. I'm not really sure.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's actually I like that. That's
I'm
intellectual.
I'm
That's
not gonna
the way
come
to
up
go.
here and like take a stance because I'm trying to be like truthful. I'm not like I've heard Globers come up and they just completely like lie and say that they know something and then they misrepresent it. Like I'm not trying to do that. I'm
No,
being
we're both
genuine
agreeing.
asking
That's
questions.
very honest of you. We
Yeah.
can both respect that a lot. Space time, if you were to describe it, it's just a three-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system. So X, Y, Z, you get 3 dimensions of space, like spatial dimensions, and then you add time as another dimension. That's simply all that you need to do. Time as a one-directional dimension, right? It moves linearly, right?
Right. But I don't know if this is true. I think I've heard this before, but like a two sorry, 2D object would not be able to like fathom what like a 3D space is, right? Because they're not in 3D. I think it's like similar where you can like theoretically talk about 4D, but I'm a 3D being. It's hard to conceptualize and like fathom what 4 dimensions would be.
Like essentially all that relativity's claim is that those spatial dimensions, those Cartesian coordinate systems are non-Euclidean, right? In the presence of mass. So they describe that as a fabric, run it linearly with time. And like this is just theoretical physics, right? There's no conceptual evidence. There's no way to test for it. That's literally just math, essentially.
It's all theory, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly why like people like Sean Carroll, anybody that's working with quantum loop gravity, they're saying that gravity arises from quantum interactions or the coupling of quantum particles and things like that. There's modified Newtonian dynamics. This is why they're trying to come up with something better. Relativity itself is admitted to be incomplete at best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would definitely have to go and like research it and like look at what it's talking about.
I'd really recommend what you should do. You'd probably find it very interesting. There's a lot of conversations on YouTube of different astrophysicists that agree with different theories. They'll get them in a room and it's pretty crazy.
Okay. I'll do that.
Like Jan 11, I think she went on
Can you
Neil
put
deGrasse
the name in
Tyson's
in the
podcast
comments?
and said that it's not even an emergent property. Like they don't know. They don't have any idea what gravity is. So to offer that gravity is the vector that keeps a plane at the same altitude is absolutely insane, in my opinion.
Well, it's what it would be acting against, right? Like there's a constant 9.8 meters per second squared acceleration down.
It's actually not constant. It totally fluctuates. It fluctuates relative to longitude and latitude. So like from somewhere from sea level to somewhere like Utah, it'll be different. There will be a different acceleration rate. I would
Probably
argue
less at
because
the
of
equator, right?
What?
Is it less at the equator?
I don't know. It fluctuates everywhere. I don't think it really matters. Like I don't think it's like distinguished like that. It's not like that. It fluctuates day to day actually based on the electrostatic gradient, whether it's stronger, weaker.
That's interesting.
That's why I made a joke.
So I can
about,
send you two. I can send you a couple gravimetric observations where they're just essentially measuring the lead ball that falls in a vacuum, right? Like that's how we get the 9.83 to 9.77. But you get that fluctuation. It actually falls faster during rainstorms, thunderstorms, and lightning storms.
Wow, that's cool. What did you say her name was? Jan Levin?
Jana, something like that. Jan 11, I think.
I'll look her up.
It changes based on electrical storms as well, right? Which is why I kind of made that joke when you brought up airplanes. I said, what would happen if it flew through an electrical storm? Because
Mm-hmm.
it would change. Now that wouldn't. Well, we do that all the time. They actually have countermeasures for that on airplanes. They have something that essentially catches the lightning, or I forget exactly how that all works. But
Do you understand how
Or-
like a gyroscope works? Like this, the basic principles of a gyroscope, Mark?
I think you'll have to like bring me up to speed.
Like
on it.
rigidity
It, like,
in
maintains
space.
its inertia.
Yeah. It basically it
Mhm.
spins fast enough, right? That any type of movement from within the plane or the plane itself, it'll reflect on the gyroscope, right? This is
Mhm.
how they fly when they're in clouds and things like that to make sure they're actually gaining altitude rather than not, right?
Mhm.
So what you should do is look at long distance flight and the data that we're getting from the gyroscope, whether it's the ring laser gyroscope or the physical mechanical gyroscope that's working inside the AI, the attitude indicator. All of it suggests that they are dipping the nose up to get to altitude, and then once they get to altitude, that plane just flies flat and level. And I had a pilot on last night on my live that said this. He says when he gets up to altitude, he just flies straight. He says.
Okay, yeah, I'll look into it. I remember someone brought it up on another live I was on, and what I saw, they talked about like veins. I forget what it's called. That like
pendulous veins.
Yeah, pendulous
yeah,
veins.
pendulous veins. So that was an answer enough for me that like it accounts for gravity a long period of time. But I'll look more into it.
Sure, they'll say pendulous veins, but if that were true, how easy would it be to just remove the pendulous veins and shut us all up, right? It'd be so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always
Anything
said
else?
that would be that would be impossible for us to explain. If somebody took a mechanical gyroscope, took a time lapse, put a GoPro on the gyroscope, set it in between the co-pilot and the pilot, do a couple 100 miles of flight. If that thing bends over linearly, right, as they fly over the curvature of the Earth, I don't know how I would explain that, but we'll never get that observation because that gyroscope is going to sit flat and level.
So I've never like played around with a gyroscope. If you just have like a normal gyroscope on your desk or something, how like sensitive is it if you like is there a way to like mess it up or like take it out of calibration?
It'll come out of calibration if it goes slow enough, right? If it starts decelerating and it's not spinning fast enough, obviously it's going to start tilting and things like that. It's just like a top, right? If you
Right.
spin a top and you keep that, let's say we just have a perpetual motion in a top, that top is
Mhm.
just going to sit there, spin. It's not going to wobble. It's not going to deviate as long as the surface is completely flat, right? Same kind of principle applies to a gyroscope. So you'd
Yeah.
get a motorized gyroscope and it will reflect all motion. That is what a gyroscope was made for.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into it. I had one more question, Caleb, because in the DM that you sent me, you were saying that like there's like another glober who like would say that you can't use celestial, like you can't use trigonometry to
Yeah, that's Blitz PhD. He's a mathematical physicist that literally has multiple PhDs, and he himself would say that you can't use trigonometry to get distance to celestial objects.
But why? I struggled to wrap my head around that. Why wouldn't we be able to do that?
It's not my claim. I just see that all the globers are on different pages. I've always disagreed with that just because there's no like common sense way to get the distance to the object
Well, if
that's a celestial object.
Well, if it's a glober's claim where it's like almost infinitely far away, we could say that it's pretty much infinitely far away. That would kind of make
But
sense to
that's
me.
not.
But if it's local,
There's,
then
there's no validity to that. And my understanding is that they use the AUs, right? They use astronomical units, and then they do
They-
it that way.
They use astronomical units, which they got off their claim to measurements to Venus, or they basically like hop from the moon to Venus to the sun, and then to claim all these distances, right? Most of the time, globers will say that they're shooting lasers or something like that at the object.
Yeah, or they'll say like red shift, blue shift, or something. There's like so much conflicting information in regards to distances.
Yeah, it's very funny though. If you look up somebody called Halton Arp, he was unable to publish books for like 10 to 15 years when he was observing galaxy clusters, quasars, things like that, things in the sky, and they were formulated. They were way too close using the redshift model, and they were way too formulated. So the redshift model is known to have problems as well right now. They're trying to switch that theory.
Yeah. Look
But-
into Hubble tension.
But like a celestial object in a glober's like concept of the world or like the universe, that's like way further away than a celestial object in a flat Earth model, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So isn't it pretty much implied that like we wouldn't be able to use trigonometry to measure things that are extremely far away, whereas, you know, the North Star should be a fixed location in the firmament somewhere?
I would say it's just as hard to measure something that's semi-local, whether it's thousands of miles away versus millions and billions. It's just as hard. It's just as it's impossible. Just as Blitz. You should ask Blitz. Like, you should message Blitz. I don't know if he'd reply to you, but he says it constantly. He has to correct his globe Earth community constantly that you can't do that.
Then why do you think the angle changes of stars depending on what latitude you're on?
That's just basic perspective.
Yeah, it's convergence mostly. Or you could have like celestial.
And there's
objects.
also, have you seen the observation of the pilot that did a time lapse out the front of his cockpit, and the stars don't bend over; they literally stay stationary. And they only do sidereal motion.
I was in Angels of Light on his live, and he showed
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
then I wasn't able to like rebut. He ended up kicking me. But if that plane, he showed me it was like Portugal to, I think it was Brazil, which is going southwest, right? Or southwest, yeah. So if you're going west, you'd be going against the curvature of the Earth. So it makes sense that it's not coming overhead. And then you see the stars moving right, which would make sense if you're flying south.
It
So-
doesn't matter what cardinal direction you are moving. If you're moving relative to the ground and the sky, it should be bending over. It doesn't matter if you're going north, south, east, or west.
Well, no, because if you're going west, you're going again. It's like if you're walking on a treadmill, you know, the ground is moving, but you're staying still. It would be kind of the same effect if you're flying west against the curvature of the Earth.
But that would also, there's no flying west against the curvature of the Earth. The curvature of the Earth is supposed to be ever existent on all cardinal directions, right?
Or sorry, not against the curvature of the Earth, against the spin of the Earth. Sorry.
Yeah, but if that were happening, then it would the Earth would spin under helicopters. The pilots would have to account for it when they're going up to 700 miles an hour against it or with it. It would be accounted for.
I don't know about that, but I'm specifically talking about the video that is shown flying from Europe to Brazil, where they're flying southwest, and then they say that the stars should be passing over your head, but you're going against the spin of the Earth. That's all I was rebutting.
Well, that's
it makes
that's a
sense that they
different
wouldn't be
reference
going
frame,
over your
though.
head.
That plane is no longer in the reference frame of the Earth, right? It's in the reference frame of the air.
Mm-hmm. But you're going against the spin of the Earth.
That has nothing to do with the sky. You're separated from the Earth.
Well, I guess if you think that the stars are spinning, that would make sense to you, but we think the Earth is spinning. So when you go against that, you're staying stationary compared to the stars in the west direction. And then he was going south, which is why the stars were moving left to right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but the whole idea of that time lapse is that plane is moving south. Its cardinal direction is moving south, and the stars only have a sidereal motion, right? They move east to west or west to east, right?
Right. And I think that I've covered why they wouldn't be going overhead, because it's also flying west across the Atlantic.
That doesn't answer why the 1 degree for every 69 miles stopped, my friend. It doesn't.
But it's going. I feel like I've explained this enough. So if we can just agree to disagree. But
Okay.
Do you have another point you want to make?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked to go a little bit more into, you know, the angle that we see of the North Star as you go south. But it sounds like it's kind of dependent on us agreeing on that. So
No.
Well, it's
no.
just basic perspective, right? Like if you put a light pole at a 90 degree angle at a zenith right above you, and you walk 200 feet away from it, it will no longer be at 90, right?
right. But we know the exact height. So if you're not going to agree that we can figure out the height of the North Star, then it's hard to, you know, have a genuine debate about it.
Well, it doesn't matter the exact height. We could put it to a plane as well. An observer from the surface of the Earth doesn't know the exact altitude that the plane is looking at based on the angular declination or inclination, right?
So the point that I'm going to make, though, is that at the equator, like, we understand that the North Star is like about at the horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if we
That's
didn't,
that's what the equator is. Yeah.
right? So think about if you drew out a triangle and you have an arbitrary h, maybe you don't solve for it, but an arbitrary h that is directly above the North Pole, and then you move out and you get it to a point of where that h is now, we could do 1 degree above the equator, so it's 1 degree in the sky. Do you understand how long of a distance you'd have on that triangle in the bottom leg? It would be like infinitely long to get to 0 degrees.
No.
Yes.
Why?
I mean, you can like draw it out. You could go to like 30 or go from like 60 degrees and go to like 5 degrees. It would imply that the Earth is enormous compared to the as you go south.
That would be assuming like a height and everything, right? Which we claim we can't get.
But you're admitting that it's a fixed point. Maybe we can't get height, but you admit that it's a fixed point.
It's semi-fixed.
only
It
do
goes
it
in a
here.
tiny little circle.
You can only get one side of the triangle, bro. You can measure the distance from here to the equatorial line where you lose visibility of it, but you can't do anything else.
So
Like the
we
whole
can-
thing, like that, all that we need to know is that the Polaris is doing exactly what everything else does when it recedes or when it comes towards you. It rises in inclination angles. It rises in angular angles. Like this is just basic perspective. This is why this. I
But
don't
then
know.
you should be able to solve for the height.
No.
By having one side of the triangle?
Well, we know the angle in the sky, right? And then you can solve for a distance along a longitudinal line because it'll move along a longitudinal line. So you can take two distances on one longitudinal line. You don't have to use GPS or anything. You can measure it yourself with like an old car. You could go 45 degrees latitude and then you drive straight south to 40 degrees latitude. Take the tangents of those angles and then use the distance between those to solve for the height. The problem is if you do that, the height doesn't stay constant. And it implies that the distance to the equator would be pretty much infinite.
I don't know how you're getting that solution.
So like if you draw a triangle that has
If we-
angle
If we
45,
measured the distance to Polaris, would it prove that the Earth was orbiting the Sun, or would it prove any of heliocentrism? Would it prove curvature?
it would
You see
prove
how like
it would prove that Polaris is not. You can't find the height of Polaris because on a flat Earth model, if you assume a flat plane, the height changes based on the angles that we see of Polaris as you move south.
no, you move. Okay, you're not understanding, bro. If you have a telephone pole in front of you
Mm-hmm.
and you move away from it, it's gonna appear to shrink, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's when you move 69 miles away from Polaris, it appears to drop by 1 degree.
Okay,
It's
we
the
can do it with a
exact same
telephone
thing.
pole then. We can do it with a telephone pole. If you measure a telephone pole and you stand at the base of it, so it's pretty much 90 degrees above you, then you move and you measure where it's 60 degrees in your field of view and you do 30 degrees in your field of view. And then you keep on doing that until it's now 0 degrees in your field of view. Do you understand how far away you're moving from that light pole compared to the difference between 30 degrees and 60 degrees and 45 degrees, which are where most of us live in the Northern Hemisphere? The problem is when you get to the equator, it implies an extremely far distance away.
Okay.
So
It's a constant drop. That's it.
it's a constant drop, but the distance, like think about it. Think of when a light pole is then at 0 degrees of your field of view.
Yeah, it's just
Technically
gone past the
speaking-
vanishing point due to convergence, right?
Right.
I was gonna
And
say,
think of how
technically
close
speaking,
you are to the
you
light
probably
pole
would-
when it's 45 degrees in your field of view or 30 degrees in your field of view. That would be the same ratio if we found a fixed height if it's a fixed point, Polaris, you do that same ratio where you're going astronomical distance to the equator
Okay.
to get it to the horizon.
See, I guess the point that I'm trying to make, brother, is that this does not prove that the Earth is curving. Which is like you want to talk about geometry, right? Like we could just measure the surface. You know, I'm not trying to like invoke a red herring, but I feel like we are literally going around in circles on this one topic. And like here,
I feel like
I
you
could
guys are
actually
both very
one more
smart,
thing.
so I was just trying to walk you through my argument. But if I mean,
Well,
I'll
I
give you guys
understand, I
time
get
to,
it.
you know.
Well, let me just say, like, remember when you insinuated that we develop a map, right? Like you're saying like we should travel from the North Pole, which you're actually not even allowed to go there. Fun fact, like you can't just
Mhm.
go to the North Pole. And then we should just take angular measurements the whole way back to the equator and do all of this math. Like it's kind of a lot. That's a lot to ask of a person on the internet that you just met today. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's more definitive things to look into. But you have
Most
been
of
up
the
here for a
formulas
while.
that they'll do to get that distance, right, from an extreme distance from the Polaris or the North Pole to the equator is assumed the Haversine formula, things like that. Hence why we don't claim a distance. At least I don't. I've heard other flat earthers claim distances to the equator. I would never throw something out like that.
Yeah, no, I don't do that either. I don't claim circumference. I don't claim anything.
Yeah,
It's
the
too loose.
pretty much the point that I'm making is on a globe, a degree of latitude change corresponds to like
We
constant change in distance, right?
we know,
On a
dude,
flat Earth,
but
that's not the
that's
case.
taken from a 90-degree baseline that you use to take an angular measurement of the star in the first place. So to insinuate that it doesn't work on, I don't know, bro. I really don't want to die on this hill with you. If you have anything else, I'll let you say it briefly. But you've been up here for a while, bro.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Just my last point, just to talk about the latitude again. If a degree of latitude stays constant on distance, that implies a globe. If it doesn't stay constant on distance, as you
That's
check Polaris,
objectively false. You take it from a 90-degree baseline, brother. You assume the Earth is flat when you take the measurement.
what I'm saying
So
is that if you go from 50 degrees north and then you drive until you're at 49 degrees north, that if you drive there and you measure that
you
distance, it's
drive
going to be pretty
69
similar.
miles.
Right.
Drive
And then
69 miles. Yeah, I remember when I remember when. Okay, I think we're done here, bro. You have a very nice day.
that shouldn't be the case on a flat Earth.
That's okay. I know we can't work on a flat Earth, even though we measure the Earth flat when we take the angular measurement of the star. I know it's just impossible. I get it, bro. I'm sorry.
Like the funniest thing about this, bro, is their freaking God Glurf, dude. The Daddy Glurf Blitz himself will refute this over and over in his lives, bro. And then like I had like I don't know, oh you didn't see Globy McGlobeface was trying to do this. He was like, yeah, we can use parallax. We can use that to get the distance to the moon. And I'm like, is parallax trigonometry? He's like, no, it totally is. And I Googled it. That's when he started muting me like crazy, bro, like losing his mind on me.
Wink, are you there, buddy? I didn't want to leave that guy up here for that long. People have a tendency. Is that Pink, bro? Pink. I know
Yeah,
you
Pink,
I
if
know
you want me to
want-
come up and destroy your albatross argument, hit the panel, buddy.
Please, I will make priority for you, and I'll actually mute. I promise you, I'll mute. I have a lot of integrity, bro. I'll mute up for you. What's up,
Hello?
Wink? Are you there, buddy?
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know I was up. My question is, so do you believe other planets in our solar system are flat or are they round?
See, there's a lot of beg in the question, just in that question alone. Do we have evidence of sphericity of those celestial bodies?
Yeah.
Do we? What's the evidence of sphericity, terra firma, balls of gas? What is the evidence of that?
Satellites, telescopes,
You're getting close. I mean,
probes.
can you tell me how to use a satellite or a telescope to determine shape of a celestial body?
Well, like our scientists have sent probes around other
Those would be
planets.
astronomers. Oh, okay. Probes. Okay. So, yeah, dude, we're already
So
all the
I'll
way
add
out in
something.
fucking space.
I'll add something. As far as like Jupiter, like I have an 8-inch Dobsonian telescope wink. Like if I look at Saturn, if I look at Jupiter, like some flat earthers will share images from like digital cameras where it looks like similar to stars, which is totally incorrect. When I observe Jupiter, it seems to be round. It seems to spin like they claim. Same with the sun. If you use a solar filter, the spots will move over the course of the day. They seem spherical, sure, but there's no correlation to the Earth, right? Just because for the simple fact that the Earth has never been measured to be in motion. There's no evidence that the Earth is in motion. And those things are in the sky, revolving around us, orbiting. I could also, we could also go at this argument by saying galaxies are flat. The rings of Saturn are flat. So is the Earth flat because galaxies are flat? Like that, you just as you would say that's a stupid argument, we would say that it's a very incorrect argument to just assume that the Earth's round because there's balls in the sky, even if they are balls or if they're not.
Gotcha.
said.
I mean,
Do you have anything
the
else?
whole, yeah, all civilization, we used to think it was flat, and then kind of scientists, observing all that stuff, sailors, we used to think you'd fall off the edge of the world, and then sailors were able to circumnavigate, the world,
we
and
sailed eastward or west. We sailed westward when that happened. So like you wouldn't even go anywhere near a quote unquote edge. You'd have to go in a southern direction. So that wouldn't have proved anything. That's just the story they tell you. They also tell you that the guy who did it came here and like discovered America, even though he just took over the place and he did a lot of unspeakable things to the people that were already here. So we've already been told some lies about that story.
I'm not talking about Christopher Columbus, talking about people that went all the way around the globe. But why would our scientists and whatnot be lying to us? Like, what's the gain?
Scientists aren't lying. They just went through the same schooling that you did, right? They were taught the Earth was a sphere since they were 2. So our argument isn't that every physicist, every astronomer, every astrophysicist knows it's flat and they're deceiving us. They probably think the Earth is a ball just as much as you, right?
Yeah. You're brought up into this and you just accept the reality you're given, right? And without any reason to drop my mouse. Without any reason to question it, you would never question it. Especially a lot of these fields that you're referencing, very compartmentalized, very people just go to work, they do their job, they go home, they want to see their family. They're not thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna disprove the globe. Like that's not even on their agenda. It's not. So they're not lying.
Yeah, they
to
don't
you.
like
They
take
just
measurements or anything like that, right? Like once you get into that field of science, once you get to the college level, even high school level, and actually no level, are they going out and doing direct observations, doing any type of surveying, trying to explain how we get the curvature rate? It's all just assumed. It's baked into everything, including movies and TV shows.
and books. Anything else you want to ask, Wink?
Yeah, just so the probes we're sending out there, they're 3D mapping planets and stuff. That's all BS.
Yeah, that's all fake. Yeah, unless you have
Yeah, I mean,
contrary
have you,
evidence.
Have
Yeah,
you
so that's
seen
my
pictures
point.
of the
Like,
planets?
why would they be faking it? What's the gain of fake that say that planets are round? What's the gain?
Well, the planets we already agreed they might be round. It just has no correlation to the surface of the Earth, right? It's a simple correlation causation fallacy.
Yeah, so if every other planet in the galaxy is round,
The Earth isn't a planet. Those are we refrain from typically saying planets. Those are wandering stars.
And also, I like to make this point too, right? Like, if you're going to compare us to every other planet, and even if we do have pictures, that's great. Like, you're going to compare us to every other planet. How many other planets have organic life, or water, or breathable atmospheres, or a hospitable habitat, right? Like, none of these other planets can be correlated to the Earth in any way, right? Why would they be the same shape at all?
And that
Why
also
would it
begs the
matter?
question of like, how do they get that? How do they know what atmospheric gases are surrounding Saturn or surrounding Uranus? Like right now, if you Google it, they're saying that Uranus's atmosphere smells like farts, by the way.
Yeah, it's methane. It's methane. Brilliant, right? I mean, Uranus smells like farts. You should just like put that on a t-shirt, you know? It's a dad joke. Anyway, yeah, when we have flat Earth discussions, like typically the best way to do it is to stay focused on the actual object in question and just see if we could prove that the Earth actually has curvature, or if it's been if there's any way to measure motion of Earth.
Gotcha.
That's, you know.
All right. Thank you for letting me voice my question. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
buddy. You too, man.
Peace.
I think this is the first two guests that I've seen like genuinely ask questions on your live in like 2 weeks.
Dude, it's awful, bro.
Bro,
Like
your
you
typical
usually
guests are so bad.
Dude, it's you see it. I know you see it, bro. It's like how do you these only I can't even talk, bro. How are these the only people that I get? I'm like jealous of other flat earth. At least they get like conversations, even if it is with the same people they talked to yesterday. At least it's better in some capacity. It's so sad here sometimes, man.
Yeah, you see, it's
Yeah.
much easier to keep your cool and go through a conversation when you're not being constantly rage baited, right?
Dude, every freaking conversation I had yesterday I was just done, dude. I couldn't. I think I was on for like 40 minutes or something. And I had a decent amount of guests too. They were just all trolls. Everybody that I had in my guest spot or my request is gone now, I think, though.
This is the thing.
It
This
is what
this
it
is
is.
my theory with you. Like, because there are people that are questioning it and seeking honest answers. Once they find that you can be one of those people, and you'll sit up here, you'll walk through it with them, and you're consistent like you have been. It's just you're gonna keep growing and growing, bro.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way, because it's starting to feel like I have like my foot in the door, so to speak, and they just keep like forcing it shut. Albeit like a lot of it's my own fault. I get loose with the language a lot of times, but usually that's after my live's already been a shit show anyway. So it's like, I don't know. And combine that with like the robot comments, dude, it's so sad.
Dude, what happened? We had like 6 guest requests. Where'd they go?
Nobody has the patience. Nobody has the patience, bro.
I'm pretty
Pink said
sure
he was
Pink
making a
said 5
pizza.
minutes. I'm pretty sure 5 minutes has transpired. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he said he was making a pizza. I doubt he's in my viewer list anymore. I'm scrolling. I was gonna let you two. I was just gonna mute up.
Bro, his albatross argument is so trash, bro. If you even go talk to AI and you're like, hey, if the Antarctic ice wall was, if you take a 50, 60,000 mile distance and take the max speed of an albatross, which I think they've measured them going like 75 to 100 miles per hour, the math works perfect. They could actually do it faster than what he's claiming.
Bro, you're trolling, right?
Who?
You actually believe the Earth is flat?
Well, it's not
Yeah,
so much
both
a
of us
belief.
do, and like probably like 120 of the people that are in this room are all flat earthers. If we ask the chat, type chat. 1 in chat if you're a flat earther, 2 if you're a globe earther. Let's see how many.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
said.
just want to like gain an understanding on how you came to this conclusion.
You question the globe. That's the first thing, right? Because in the way that you're brought up, you're given one understanding of how the Earth works, and this is the only way that it can work because we tell you so. And if you just start to question that, it's almost like it's like chipping paint, right? Like if the paint starts to chip slowly, but before you know it, like the whole wall's fucked up, right?
Mhm.
Like it falls apart very quickly. The globe model's very fragile. So that's typically the first step. You just start questioning it a little bit, but you have to be honest with yourself, you know? Um like if you were to like what do you think would falsify the globe? Like what would prove that we don't live on a sphere?
I don't know. Us not. I don't know. I feel like if we were flat, wouldn't there be like an edge?
Not necessarily, no.
It could go on forever for all we know.
Yeah, they
Really?
say that space is infinite. Yeah, they say space is infinite. So I mean, but I do like to entertain the possibility that maybe there's more continents, more land, more civilizations, technology, etc. Right? There's only certain places in the Earth that you're actually allowed to travel to. Those being
Like
the
s-
6 continents that we typically live on.
Mm-hmm.
Like certified. If you go watch it, there's this guy named Admiral Byrd. If you go on YouTube and look up his interview, it was literally televised in 1957. He said he went south to Antarctica and saw a continent the size of America that nobody had ever discovered. And then they came back the next year and signed the Antarctic Treaty that explains that nobody can independently explore without a permit past the 60th south latitude. It's pretty weird.
And then they developed NASA shortly after.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
can
if you
definitely see
even if
that.
you just look at even if you just look at the timeline of things, the way that we got to where we are today within like the past 100 years or so.
But to just
Um,
like let's give him like the best evidence of the Earth being flat. The best evidence of the Earth being flat is microwave transmissions. Microwave transmissions is a specific frequency of electromagnetic frequencies, right? And it typically travels in straight lines. Like if you Google it, the curvature of the Earth, if you're emitting from like a 6-foot observer height, it should only go max 20 to 30 miles because they assume that the Earth is curved. We have microwave transmissions that have been transmitted from a boat to a buoy, so they're not like sitting on top of a mountain, anything like that. And they transmitted it over 836 miles from one point to another. No repeaters, anything like that. And yeah, they don't bounce off the atmosphere. There's no evidence of that. They travel in straight lines. If they shoot them at a mountain, it's not going to go through the mountain or diffract around it. This is irrefutable evidence that the ocean surface is flat.
yeah.
Okay.
Water,
So, like,
water
how
itself,
would our
like, oh, go ahead, buddy. I'll make another point, but go ahead.
like atmosphere work then?
It works just the
What?
same as on the globe, right? There's a gradient. There's a pressure gradient based on buoyancy and density of the gases that exist, of the ionic gases. So oxygen will work itself to the bottom. Hydrogen will work itself to the top, same as helium, because they're less dense or more dense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I was gonna say when Caleb said that we can prove that water levels out, well, like that's the natural fluid mechanics of water is to do exactly that, right? Like if you pour water in a cup, it's gonna seek level. You swim in a swimming pool, the water's not curving at the surface. Why would the oceans be any different? It's a little far-fetched. We have no evidence that water can behave that way. So I mean that would require some burden of proof. Like if they're going to claim that the Earth is a sphere with 70% of its surface being water convexly sticking to it while it's spinning around in a ball, I need to see that we can do that in reality. I need that demonstrated. Like outside of that, physics says otherwise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference that you'll find between people that are claiming the Earth is flat and claiming that the Earth is round. The flat earthers will typically appeal to natural physics observations that can be done on the Earth, right? Water at depth takes the shape of its container and it's level at the surface unless motion is induced into the container, right? Globers will say that on a large scale, they'll say you could put 100 Olympic swimming pools next to each other. We would argue those swimming pools are all going to be measured flat like every other swimming pool. And at some point, the globe Earth has to claim that those swimming pools are convexing for some reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the natural fluid statics of water, it's always going to seek equilibrium. It has a lot to do with like on a molecular level, hydrogen has a higher rate of cohesion. Like it'll go through cohesion, so the molecules stick together. Basically, just means that it levels out. I'm getting a little too scientific, but just fluid statics.
What you got to
That's
do,
like
we're
the
speaking science, Solly. We got to get science. We can't be like Shift God, can we?
Yeah, I don't know what science is. I never heard of it. Can't define it. Can't give you a method for it. No, all jokes aside, man, it's like this is probably the one thing you'll hear the most often is that water always seeks its level because it is such a very good point. If 70% of the Earth's surface is water and water always seeks its level, 2 plus 2 usually equals 4. You know what I mean? We probably live on a flat Earth.
Okay. So like then I don't know, I don't really know how to say this. I'm kind of like getting towards like gravity. How would that work basically? Well, does it still work the same?
No. Well, even on the globe Earth model, there's ever-changing theories of gravity coming out every day. Like there's people that have derived the universal gravitational constant from entropy, from electricity, from magnetism. They're sometimes claiming that it's obviously relativity, which is the bending and warping of space-time. You have mass attracting mass.
If you can find interviews of people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicists, they're directly asked like, what is gravity? And they say, I don't know. They don't know. They don't have a coherent theory for gravity. As far as what creates the downward bias on the Earth, we have a positive charge to the atmosphere. It increases in charge 100 volts per meter. This can be explained if you look up free. There's a free lectures. They're called the Feynman lectures. It's 9.3 of his electromagnetism book, and he
I can
explains
send
this.
that to you. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that.
So you can Google that up. I have the physical copies, but essentially we can send a voltmeter attached to a balloon into the sky, and as it goes higher, it reads a higher electrostatic gradient. So, and electric fields exist and magnetic fields exist in a vacuum. It's called the Casimir effect. So why things fall in a vacuum, remove buoyancy and density. Why do things not go left? Why do things not go right? Why do things always go down? There's essentially like an electric pressure, because the ground is considered to be a negative, and the positive obviously seeks the negative, creating a downward bias. And all mass is held together by electric forces, admittedly, by Walter Lewin. He's a PhD physicist that teaches at, I think, Harvard or Caltech, something like that.
I'm not sure about that one, but there's just so you know that we're not just making shit up and trying to fool you with like word salad. This is
Mhm.
Richard Feynman's 9.1, 100 volts per meter. I can't highlight it; it's not letting me. But 100 volts per meter.
If you go down, MIT, my bad, MIT. Yeah, if you scroll down, he actually has a picture depicting it as well that I use all the time.
Yeah, he does. Right here. So this is like a downward bias towards anything in the atmosphere, anything that's made of mass, because mass on a molecular level, on an intrinsic level, is of course made of atoms, or that's what they say. Everything is electrostatic intrinsically. Sorry, regardless of atoms or non-atoms. So this would have an effect on anything that's material on Earth, right?
Mhm.
And basically, outside of that, it's just density and buoyancy.
Yeah, density and buoyancy
So-
works out well. Like I always say, a helium balloon is an anti-gravity device, right?
yeah, or even like an orange with a peel versus an orange without one. Like, there's so many ways to prove that it's not. It has nothing to do with a fictitious force coming from the center of the Earth. I usually tell people that gravity and the globe, the two things, gravity and the globe, are symbiotic, meaning they depend on each other to coexist. If you can prove that gravity doesn't exist, the Earth cannot be a sphere, because that's the only way the Earth can be a sphere is if it has a gravitational pull holding it together, and vice
Yeah.
versa. Yeah, but the exact opposite is true too. If you prove one of them wrong, you prove them both wrong simultaneously.
Like that's the only physical mechanism that is offered to explain how fluid dynamics is defying what we see on a small scale on a large scale, right? Is that claimed force or non-force? Like in relativity, it's not even claimed to be a force anymore. It's more of a push than a pull.
I also have Morton F. Spears. He developed a mathematical solution for gravity using electrostatics. So gravity essentially, at least little g and big G, are just the little g is just a downward acceleration, right? You can easily replace that with electrostatics. There's a lot of like, this is stuff that doesn't get published. Do you know what I mean? Or it does, but it doesn't get like mainstream attention. I don't want to lose you. Are you still here, bro?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I just want you
You
to see
following
this
like what we're
isn't-
saying?
Kind of.
You got to
This is
make
more
sure
than
you
what I
ask
thought.
questions when you're not following. You got to ask questions.
Yeah, I know that like maybe what you're thinking, right? Like you're thinking you're gonna come up here, you're gonna talk to some flat earthers, they're gonna be absolute dummies, they're not gonna be able to answer questions. Bro, like this flat earth thing's been going around for like 10 to 20 years. I've been a part of it for 10 years. We have a lot of your questions answered already, I assure you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like we can answer a lot of your questions. And there's
I became
other
a flat
people-
earther 6 years ago, and I thought it was just as insane. And it really actually caused a vitriolic reaction inside of me where I really wanted to debunk it. I thought it was such a stupid thing. But as I studied both sides to be able to steelman them, I realized one was using natural science and one was just offering theoretical physics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So how would
Globe
you?
itself.
Does that mean that like all planets are flat or just Earth?
Mm.
How would you go about that?
I mean, okay, so I've never looked through a telescope and seen the what we call planets. Ancients used to refer to them as wandering stars. I do prefer that term. Caleb says he's seen them through a telescope and they appear to be spherical. They appear to rotate or turn.
Hmm.
But even if that is the case, like we measure the Earth and we measure it flat, right? We do plane surveying. If you Google that, if I'm not even kidding, bro, I was actually gonna do that for the last guest. I might as well just do it. If you Google the definition of plane surveying, they literally tell you that they disregard the curvature of the Earth. They don't even consider it. They don't take it into consideration. We fly airplanes. We don't compensate for curvature. When we go out and measure the Earth, it measures flat. I mean, it's just we don't live on a ball, bro. Like they can tell us we live on a ball, but everything that we can test through physics and science and mathematics proves otherwise. So, I mean, you should just trust yourself. You shouldn't trust. Don't even trust me. Don't trust Caleb. Don't trust anybody. Just trust yourself. Do your own work. You know what I mean? Do your own homework, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna look into that a little bit more. Just
Check out. Make sure you follow me and Solly. Like I do. I've done videos on pretty much every topic of flat Earth versus globe Earth. You know, you'll have to go back to where it was a year ago, maybe, or something like that, to find a specific topic. But I've covered it all. Also, you could check out Witsit Gets It on YouTube and go to his live section and go to his debates. He is extremely good at defending true cosmology as well.
If you're
Okay.
if you're interested, bro, if you're truly interested, I make this offer to a lot of people. I will just send because if you go to YouTube and you type in flat Earth, you're gonna get bullshit, bro. You're gonna get like top 10 reasons why the Earth can't be flat, et cetera, right? But I like what Caleb's talking about and what I'm talking about. Like I can just directly message you those videos or at least a few of them to get you started. Maybe that'll put you in an algorithm where they send you more. Maybe you can just check out the rest of those channels. Like if you're interested, I'll just directly message you and meet you halfway. And you can hand wave dismiss it, bro. You can say no, this is crap and these people are crazy and you're not gonna hurt my feelings. But at least I wanna like offer that to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you hit me in a
definitely.
DM, I'll get you some of the best debates. Like, there's plenty of PhD. I've actually debated a PhD astrophysicist. I posted it on my X. So the information, as far as flat Earth, is one of the most censored topics that exists right now. Because people like Neil deGrasse Tyson say it should not be publicly debated. And there's a reason they don't
Yeah.
want it publicly debated.
Yeah. It's funny because when you do debate these people, because I've debated like pilots and stuff myself, and you do debate these people, they don't ever actually provide anything in the way of in a way of proof, in the way of evidence. It's usually just a bunch of straw mans of how they think it would work on a flat Earth, or a lot of like questions shifting the burden of proof. Like it's a lot of sophistry, and it doesn't really go anywhere. Um, so anything else, bud?
No, that's just I just wanted to get an understanding of how you guys came to the conclusion of flat Earth and just see how you guys thought about it. That's all, really. I just had
Well, in
questions.
short, man, like I should have said this earlier, but like you experience the Earth as if it's flat and stationary every single day of your life, and so does every other person on Earth. So the burden of proof is on people who make the extraordinary claim that the Earth is actually moving and curving, even
Like,
though
this
we
is
don't
why all the
experience it that
ancients,
way.
right? Like the Egyptians, the Mayans, people that had very different religious views and would go to war against each other, they all depicted the earth to be a flat earth with a firmament encasing the earth, with the stars fixed in the firmament rotating around us. The default position is that the earth is a flat stationary plane. If you get into like reading relativity, they say this. They say every experiment that has ever been done to measure the earth's motion has failed.
Yeah, I have a lot of geocentric quotes, but I won't waste your time with those. Um, just keep an open mind when it comes to this topic, bro. We're not crazy people. We don't just deny science. It's none of that's true, you know?
Hmm. Well, yeah, that's
Anything
all I
else?
really had. Uh, nah, I don't really know how to leave here. Thank
All
you
right,
for
bro. I'll
answering my
help you.
questions.
Yeah, thanks for being kind. I appreciate it, bro.
That guy's
Bros,
never just blindly believing he's on a ball again, bro. That's the goal. Let's go. Dude, I love
I
that. I
see
love
you.
like when you can tell somebody's like super new, they like have never talked to a flat earther that's genuine or can actually refute points, and and offer scientific information. It's so cool to see them go from like that huge ego to like, wait, what the freak, bro?
Mac, I see you, bro, but like it's going really well right now, and I want to at least try to get the Globers out of the way if I can. Maybe I'll bring up more people afterwards. What's up, Chris?
Hello.
Hey, buddy. What's good, man?
Hey, good.
What,
So I talked to Caleb last night, and I'm pretty new. I'm pretty much just open minded to the subject. I just had a couple questions for you guys, if you didn't mind.
shoot.
I was about to
So
say that
so
same word. What the freak? I was about to say shoot too. What the freak?
Great minds,
so
bro.
I was looking at one of the graphs that Caleb pulled up last night about how the seasons change throughout the year on a flat Earth. But what didn't make sense to me based off the picture that I was shown is how Australia could have summer during our winter, and vice versa, and how different parts of the Earth have different
The
seasons.
sun. Okay, so it's just kinematics, right? Like the sun moves and the earth does not. So the sun just travels back and forth between the tropics every 6 months. It'll spend 6 months closer to the Tropic of Capricorn and 6 months closer to the Tropic of Cancer, respectively. And that would essentially compensate for your seasons. This is
Just,
why we have a
I don't know if I
memo.
went over this last night, Chris, but it's just based on the inverse square law of heat. So as the sun is closer to an observer or directly above an observer at a higher angle, it's either going through more dense gases relative to the observer or less dense gases, and you'll get more heat and less heat, creating seasons.
Okay, okay. So then what's the flat Earth belief or explanation of tides? 'Cause it seems like it'd have to be at least a little bit different than
So some
what the
people will
globe
offer
Earth.
that like the tides or the oceans that surround us are somewhat magnetic in influence. They're like, what is the word that they say? Diamagnetic, and they'll claim
Yeah.
like it's a magnetic effect. As far as me, I steer clear away from tides. Like I couldn't explain to you how what are the currents under the ocean are forming, things like that. I think it has to do with electromagnetism, but for me to offer to you an explanation of how quadrillions of gallons of water is doing tides every day, it obviously it's not, does the moon conversation doesn't work. So we can debunk the idea that gravity is causing tides just by debunking gravity. And falsification is independent of replacement. I don't have to fully explain dynamically how the tides are doing what they're doing every day.
Why don't you believe that the moon's own gravitational pull can't
Well, we don't
influence the
we don't
tides?
because we don't believe that we don't believe that the moon is orbiting via gravity at all. So could the moon have an effect on the tides?
And it's
Yeah, I mean,
actually, if you observe the moon in relation to the tides actually lag behind the moon.
yeah, yeah, and they claim that that's a, what do they call that? Gravitational something, delay or something like
Gravitational
that.
lag, I don't know what they would say, but
There's
similar to like
actually a term for it. Yeah,
if
it's
the
silly though
if the timeline is leaning up to like a solar eclipse though, where we're seeing the sun and the moon at the same time over the course of the days and the orbits are lining up, we should be getting double the strength of tides, because just as they say that the moon affects the tides, they say the sun affects the tides. If they're lining up, getting closer together, we should see a difference in the tides, and we do not.
right.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. And then another question I wanted to ask you guys is what do you believe is like underneath the Earth? Do you believe that there's a hot core similar to what
No, I don't.
Globe Earth believes, or
No, we've only dug. First and foremost, you don't have to dig very far to get magma. You can find it just a couple thousand feet. Like it's not like doesn't have to be like the commonly believed thing from what we're taught when we're children is that the Earth's core is molten hot magma and iron, and it's boiling up 3,000, almost 4,000 miles to reach the Earth's surface. Like that's completely unproven. Like that's entirely theoretical and very flimsy. And you don't have to dig that deep to find magma. As for like what I can attest to, like the deepest hole ever dug wasn't even 8 miles. It was in Russia. It's called the Kola, Kola. And it's funny because they actually made predictions every 100 meters as to what they should expect to see in terms of like temperature, mineral, and like a variety of other things. And they were wrong every step of the way, and actually got more wrong as they went deeper. So it's completely like it's entirely theoretical what's beneath your feet, bro. Anybody who claims to know what's beneath your feet is claiming their theories as facts, and it's nothing more than theory.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, all right. Yeah, that was pretty much all the questions I had. Like I said, I'm new, but looking into it.
Okay. We'll keep doing that, man. And come back and see me or Caleb sometime. We both do our own lives.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Peace, man. Easy peasy. Is Jibber Jabber? I think you're a flat earther, bro. I'm pretty sure. I got all the flat earthers are requesting, guys. We can't be doing that. Unless Christina's, I don't know. I saw her typing comments. It looked like she was a flat earther. Are you a flat earther, Christina? Are you there? Okay, maybe she's just like requesting from her pocket. That happens. Marco wants to come back. I mean, okay. I gotta use the restroom soon, so either I'm gonna have to pass the microphone to Caleb, or the live's gonna have to get wrapped up. One or the other. What's up, bro? Welcome back.
Hey,
In a bottle, and my kid is losing it right now, so I might have to stay on mute.
No, it's fine, bro. When I gotta go to the bathroom, my bladder is like the size of my fist. It's terrible.
okay, I'll just
Um,
mute for a second.
No, you're good, bro. You're the one that I want to talk to. I brought you back up here. What's up?
Just because that other guy asked about seasons, and Caleb was talking about the like heat dissipation from the sun and all this stuff. But earlier we had talked about how the sun is moving faster over Capricorn. Capricorn's bigger than Cancer. So like, how is it heating up the south to the same heat during their summer when the sun's needing to heat up more land in the same amount of time?
I think you answered your own question.
How?
Well, if it's heating up more land, it's not going to have the same dissipation over that land. Therefore, it would be more dry, right? Like it would.
Each
You
local
realize it's
spot would
like
have less time under the sun, right?
right, but it's also these are tundras that you're referring to, right? Which has a lot more to do with atmosphere than with heat. You ever lived in a desert?
Okay, Can you explain that again? I'm not really following your point.
Tundra. It's not specific to temperature. Tundras have nothing to do with temperature. It's an atmospheric thing, right? There's less going on in the atmosphere, so the temperature that it tends to stay at. That's what makes a tundra. It's in my understanding. I know there's probably some nuance there that I'm not.
What are you
elaborating
talking
on,
about
but
tundra for?
Isn't that what you're referencing? Like when we have
I'm talking about
like
the
southern
Tropic of
locations that
Capricorn,
are.
which is like in the tropics still.
I'm aware, but aren't there tundras near there? Like, isn't that like? Didn't you say something about the Sahara?
No, I was talking about the Tropic of Capricorn. So like south of the equator in Africa, south of the equator in South America, south of the equator in Australia. These are still tropical climates that get pretty hot.
Okay,
And
fair.
according to
And
Flat
what's
Earth, with a Tropic of Capricorn that's much bigger than the Tropic of Cancer, they would have less
why do
direct
you
sunlight overhead.
Yeah, that's great, but like I don't like how you keep like okay, this like I'm gonna take control real quick, bro, because I got to. Um the way that you guys this not okay, the way that you currently are attacking this conversation is not with providing evidence. Like God forbid you do that, right? No, you're just gonna ask me to explain every God-given phenomena on Earth, and if I can't do that, then the Earth can't be flat. dude, it's not measured curved. It can't be curved. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't have an answer to your question, but that's like also kind of a ridiculous question to ask because I'm not a deity. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I'm getting a little frustrated, brother.
I don't mean to attack you because like I think it's kind of unfair to just bring up a point that you've never looked into and then expect you to have the answer. So I didn't mean to come off aggressive. It was kind of more
It's
just
no, it's not your. I don't take it aggressively, bro. It's that I wish you would approach this conversation more so in like a, hey, this is why the Earth is a sphere, and this is what definitively proves it. Instead of asking me to replace every phenomena on the Earth as if that would even prove anything. It wouldn't prove motion. It wouldn't prove curvature. Or even if I gave you an explanation for this, it doesn't prove anything. Like it literally is a nothing sandwich, bro. Do you understand that?
I disagree, but we'll agree to disagree. I like when you ask like me and other globe people like, oh, what would it take to like make you believe in a flat Earth? I feel like there's like literally
I don't
thousands
ever.
of sorry, what?
I don't typically ask that. There's a change to how I usually ask like what would falsify the globe, right? Like
Mhm.
what would prove that we don't live on a sphere? And it's amazing how few people can even entertain the possibility long enough to give me a hypothetical response.
Yeah.
Like so what would falsify the sphere? What would prove that we don't live on a sphere?
Yeah, and the point I was going to make is there's tons of these things. Like I'm just like listing stuff where for me it would be really hard for even if one of them get proven false or like I misunderstood it.
No,
I feel like there's an
you haven't given me anything that would definitively prove that we don't live on a sphere. Like you have to play devil's advocate here. You have to have some balance, right? Like there's polarity to this discussion. Like if you asked
Mhm.
me what would prove that we don't live on a flat earth, I would say, okay, a measurement of a geometric horizon, an experiment that proves that it's in motion. If airplanes adjusted for curvature and that was definitively proven, right? Like those
Mhm.
would falsify my belief that the earth is flat. That would prove that the earth is probably convexing, probably a sphere, right? So if I invert that question and I ask it back to you and I say, okay, what would prove that the earth is not a sphere? You you didn't give me anything. You just go around in circles back to these questions that you think that I can't answer, and you may or may not be right, but you still haven't given me any falsifiability. You're not even admitting that your model can be falsified, that's just occultic.
I'm not really claiming that it's like I know exactly the shape of the Earth. I'm not sure. Like I'm kind of trusting what other people have said, but from my observation, the sky is not like I don't see how there could be a firmament. Like we talked about, like the sun and the stars, and
How
it
could
seems
there? All
like
right, let's. How could there not be a firmament? Let's talk about that. Since you don't want to try to falsify heliocentrism, or even this is why I ask you that question because
Mhm.
it's an interesting thing to see how your mind works. Can you even entertain the possibility of falsifiability of your own what you subscribe to? Right?
Yeah.
Like it's every time I ask you that question, it's a non-answer. Like you say words, but you're not answering the question. Right?
The firmament is
So
literally necessitated with a basic understanding of thermodynamics and gas pressure.
yeah, that's why I kind of stopped you with the firmament thing because it's like how could there not be a firmament? What would you said something along that line. I don't want to straw man you, but you said something about you don't think there could be a firmament. Why not?
I was specifically talking about like the stars and the sun's motion and the moon's motion and the stars' motion and all that being on some like plane above us. I think that's pretty much impossible from
Well,
what we
that's not a
observed.
firmament, brother. That has nothing to do with the firmament.
To be honest, I'm not sure exactly like what most flat earthers believed, but I assumed that stars were like fixed in the firmament. But if that's wrong, then
No, I don't.
don't
You
mean
don't
to
know.
throw me in.
The so it's a lot of nothing sandwiches, bro. It's hard to get calories out of this. Um,
Do you want to talk about the firmament then? Since you were kind of going down that path, I'll entertain it.
well, I wanted to address it because you said that you didn't see how you didn't see how there has to be one, or you don't see the so like I don't know. If I asked you to hand me like 5 pounds of helium, how would you do it?
I would probably put it in some type of container.
Okay. So if we need containers to manipulate and, well, not necessarily manipulate, but to move gases around from location to location, and we live in an atmosphere that is pressurized and is made of gases, how is that? The real question is not really the pressurization of it. The real question is the fact that it is pressurized, but it's also adjacent to and in contact with a near perfect vacuum. So
Is it
how do
in
you put a
contact with the
pressure?
vacuum?
How would it not be? While we're flying
Well,
through space and like
do
of
you believe
course
there's
it
a pressure
is.
gradient?
Of course, but even at the lowest pressure that you can achieve at the highest altitude, it's still pressurized and it should still seek
Do you know what
equilibrium. That's
so a relative vacuum, you could go up to pretty high altitudes, and if you captured that air, brought it down to sea level, it would be considered a vacuum.
It's less
But it's
dense,
not a
not a
vacuum
vacuum.
because it's not a vacuum up there because the surrounding air is the same pressure. So because of the pressure gradient, you don't like
you're
just
not
it could be touching
understanding
a
though. Like
vacuum.
if I open any other form of if I have gas pressure, you cannot put it inside of a vacuum uncontained. Like
Say
that
that
can't be
again?
recreated. If you take gas pressure with no container holding it, which you can't even manifest that, right? And
Yeah,
then you
it'll
take that gas
disperse. Yeah.
pressure, yeah, of course. Oh, so that would be that would be entropy, yeah. So that's what
Hmm.
you would expect if you put it into a vacuum. Do you know that like entropy is instantaneous and violent? Like it's not patient. You know what I mean? It's not gonna like drizzle over time and survive billions of years or whatever. Like that's not gonna happen, bro. If I open a soda can after shaking it up, it's going right all over me, bro. It's not gonna.
Hmm.
It's not gonna
That's because the
seek
pressure of the
equilibrium
outside of the
slowly.
can is less, right?
The pressure of the vacuum would be less than the pressure on Earth. That's the direct analogy that I'm trying to make, brother.
Yeah, but you admit that there's a pressure gradient as you go up.
Yeah, the only way to
Doesn't
get a
matter.
pressure gradient is to have a container. The only reason you're getting a pressure gradient is because you have multiple gases working with buoyancy and density working themselves out relative to one another. The only way to get
Yeah,
that is to have a container with gases in
it's
it.
it's a dynamic
Why
system. Yeah.
why is the least pressurized gas at the top of the firmament?
Because it's more buoyant, it's less dense.
Yeah.
But without the
This is
container, it would leave.
Yeah, without the container, just as every other small scale experiment where we put a vacuum chamber next to a pressurized system with gases, they seek equilibrium violently.
yeah
But
instantaneously in
why
infinite
doesn't the air
directions.
from below go up to the relative vacuum that is the top of the firmament? Because that
Because
air
of buoyancy and density.
it would be a relative vacuum at sea level. Why isn't the sea level air shot violently up into the sky?
Because it's more dense than the gases that are above it.
So you're pretty much saying gravity.
No,
No,
I'm
it's
saying buoyancy and
You said
density.
whenever we have a vacuum, you say whenever we have a vacuum, it shoots violently into that volume. You admit that there's a pressure gradient, which relative to sea level, way up at like 60,000
you can
feet, that's a relative. If it was at sea level, that pressure would be considered a vacuum. So why isn't
what
the
I
sea
guess
level shot up there?
the point is though, like, and I can kind of address that by giving you a picture, right? Like, or painting a picture for you. Like, if I build a terrarium and I introduce gases into that terrarium, and I have if temperature differentials, pressure differentials, it will seek equilibrium. I'd have to make it very big, so bear with me. But you know what a terrarium is, right? Like that's not
Like with
you've
like
heard
the
of.
different plants and stuff.
Yeah, it's a contained
Hmm.
system, right?
Yeah.
You have condensation, evaporation, etc. Right? Um, so you can have a pressure gradient within a terrarium, similar to how we're depicting the Earth is, right? Like I could scale that down, right? You can
Hmm.
build a terrarium with a pressure gradient, organic life. You can have trees. You can have trees is maybe a stretch, but you can have grass. You can have some sort of like organic matter in there. Um, and you can have your pressure gradient, you can have evaporation, condensation, precipitation. You can recreate the Earth on a small scale but you need a container to do it, right? So why do we believe that we're adjacent to and in contact with a vacuum when we do you see the
I,
point I'm trying to make, brother?
yes, but I feel like you're kind of skirting around the point that I'm making of the pressure gradient. Like we've measured
No, you
pressures
guys
that are
just
so low in the
repeat.
atmosphere. But
Yeah,
you
but
say
you
that we're in
just
contact. You're saying we're in contact with a vacuum as if our sea level atmosphere is in contact with an absolute vacuum, and that's not true. There's a gradient, and the same way.
okay. Let me ask you this though: is the vacuum of space infinite?
Probably. like I said
That's what they
before, like
claim.
I'm not gonna make like positive claims about stuff that
Is the claim that the vacuum of space is potentially infinite, right? It's so big and so expansive that we haven't even reached the nearest part of, we haven't reached nowhere near the end, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Then then that doesn't work anymore because it's no longer small scale. Do you understand? Like on a small scale, I would give it to you, right? That's why when we do put a vacuum chamber next to a pressurized system, they do seek equilibrium because it's on a small scale. But on a big scale, like, dude, you have the entire vacuum of space for our atmosphere to seek entropy into, and it just refuses. Live visibility restricted. Thanks, Pink. I wonder why that happened right after you joined into my live. Appreciate that, bro.
Yo, unfortunately, I got to drop till I get my kids in bed. I got to go to sleep, brother.
You really think I reported you?
I'm just pointing out
That's crazy.
what I see, bro.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yo, Pink, don't you dare act like I'm running from you, bro. Don't you dare, buddy.
No, he's talking
Well,
about me.
when did I say
I
you're
got my
running
live.
from me?
Yeah, don't
No.
you dare start spilling that kind of crap, bro. You took way more than 5 minutes. Don't worry, I'll show up to your next live. Why don't you ever pull up to my lives, bro? Why do you run from every one of my lives? Don't even. Got it?
Hold on, run away from your live? No, it's not that. It's not that.
You just pass through. You never join.
I do not pass through. What do you mean I pass through?
Yeah, I see you join in the comments. It tells me when you join, bro. I see you come in and out.
I do not. I don't join.
All my mods can vouch for that too.
That's fine.
Yeah, I can actually vouch for that. I saw it happen like 2 days ago, or even the day, one of the most recent days in recent memory.
Right. So now you're just gonna
Whatever,
lie in
dude.
front of 195 people?
No, they've all
No, I'm
seen
not
it, bro.
you, brother.
Nobody's lying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I
What
guess
would
Marco,
happen?
hold on, just a second.
I'm doing my
Caleb's
own
got a dip. Okay, you're interrupting.
Put me in the big
So,
screen real quick so I can just destroy his albatross argument real quick.
I
and
would
I'll
love,
drop.
yeah, I would love that actually, because I knew he's gonna ask me about that, and I haven't done that.
So we actually think the Antarctic Circle is like 50 to 60,000 because of what Captain Cook measured, right? With his observations and how long it took him to do it, 2 or 3 years. If that albatross is going 50 miles an hour, which you've admitted they've actually measured them going faster than that, 50 to 58 days, bro. And if they're actually going faster than 100 miles per hour with trade winds and jet streams and things like that, they could do it in less than 20, bro.
What AI is this? Because I have not seen. You said how many days? 50,
You want me to send you the
58
picture?
days? No. Where's this information from?
What does it matter? Are you going to do a genetic fallacy?
Well, no, because whenever I look it up, it says a lot less days. It says 46 days to be exact.
It's simple math. I actually did 70,000 miles, so this is actually faster. It's actually shorter than this.
Okay, so
Go punch it
what's
into
the
AI, bro. It's
circumference?
basic math.
What circumference is your ice wall?
50 to 60,000 miles.
50 to 60,000 miles, and so that is a little bit bigger than on our model. What they're flying.
What does your model claim?
So they're going.
Do you even know?
up to-
What's the circumference of Antarctica produced?
So around 60 degrees south latitude, that'd be 20,000 kilometers they're going.
In miles?
I don't know.
I got you.
Translate that.
Yikes.
They don't
Not
measure
to
them.
be
in
like-
What
miles.
did you say? 20,
It'd be
20K?
like 12K.
20,000?
It's like 12K.
12,000.
Yeah, 13K.
12, almost 12.5, yeah.
Yeah, if that's true and they go 50 miles an hour, do you know how fast they should be doing that?
Yeah, about 46 days.
Yeah, your math's off, buddy. No, if they're going over 50 miles an hour, just type that in. Type that into your little search, whichever genetic fallacy you want to do. Type it into ChatGPT, wherever you want to do it. If the circumference of Antarctica is 13,000 miles and an albatross has an average speed of 75 miles an hour, how fast should it do it?
I'm sorry, I'm terrible at math. No idea, but you're not.
That's
we're
why he
not gonna
told
do
you to
all
use
that.
your own genetics.
Just like you're terrible at science and physics.
What do I need to use science and physics for my life, Caleb?
To debate flat earthers on the internet? Yeah, to
Oh,
debate
to
flat
debate-
earthers on
to
the
de-
internet so you don't look
Oh.
stupid?
So I don't look stupid. I don't have to look dumb. I don't have to look smart. But the birds prove you guys that's bullshit, and you know it.
I just absolutely destroyed your argument. Do you have any refutation, or you just want to waffle?
No, it's the same thing. You do the math wrong. You do the observations wrong. It is.
He just showed
I mean,
you all
just
of the math.
Do the math
Okay,
then,
no,
Pink.
no,
You
Pink,
said you
hold
suck
on.
at math. How are you saying I suck at math and you don't? Here, Pink, let's show how much you don't know about math, Pink.
Obviously,
What's Euclidean and non-Euclidean geometry?
we're not doing this, Caleb.
Yeah,
So
you
how
don't know
much you know-
shit.
Tell the scientists that study these birds that they're wrong.
What's
for-
Euclidean and non-Euclidean geometry since you're such a math whiz?
No, I already told you. I'm not a math whiz, but these bird watchers, these bird
Okay,
researchers
so a
are.
self-proclaimed non-math whiz insinuates that a flat earther's
No,
math is incorrect.
I've never
off
said.
of
I've
what?
never said I'm good at math. Never.
You just stop talking.
I'm not
bro.
proving
You just
you
said
wrong,
his
it's the
dude.
birds.
Can you stop talking? Are you really that triggered, bro? Relax. You just
No, I'm
said
not
his
triggered.
math was wrong, but you don't make any attempt to correct it. That's the saddest part. Like you make
That's why I
zero
said-
attempts to correct. Just breathe, bro. You make zero attempts to correct something that you can spot the flaw in it, right? Like you can see that it's flawed, but you have no idea how to correct it. That's what I'm picking up on. So how do you know it's flawed if you can't correct it? That's
Do you
what
want
I
me to go?
thought, bro.
Well, no, I was not supposed to talk right there. So can I go?
Don't be
How
semantical.
do you correct something that you see a flaw in, but I'm sorry, how do you see a flaw in something and not know how to correct it? Like how do you want to I don't know.
Because I
bro.
don't
I'm
need
just-
to know the math. I'm not the one that is proving you
You're the
guys
one
wrong.
claiming the math
You
is
don't
wrong.
need to know the math when you're claiming the math doesn't work, dude. What are you saying?
You look
Are you
sad, bro.
being genuine? Do you actually believe the words that are emitting from your mouth?
Do I believe
really-
that these birds prove that we are not on a flat Earth, and you both know it?
No.
No, we don't.
We just showed you the math that they would
You
be able
both-
to do it.
Right.
And you
How
can't
do you get the airspeed of the bird produced? How do you get the airspeed?
First, you're gonna have to prove to me that you guys are even flat Earthers.
I've been a flat earther, dude. I have Facebook memories dating back to 2015 of me talking about flat Earth. Please stop.
So you're just gonna appeal that we're too smart to be flat earthers? You're just gonna totally switch topics, Pink? Is that what we're doing?
No, that's definitely not switching topics.
It's okay. I
Wow,
don't know
that's
if we can
that's
talk
talking about
this.
albatrosses?
Wow.
Like genuinely, bro. You gotta take your anxiety meds before joining these panels, dude. You sound crazy.
Yeah.
You guys
Do you
invited
have,
me, and
do you have?
it's not me
I
proving
didn't.
you
I
wrong.
didn't
I've
invite
told
you.
you
I
that.
didn't invite you. That must have been Caleb. But either way, do you have something else that you want to talk about? Do you have evidence that the Earth is a sphere, or do you just have assumptions of how a flat Earth would not work and not
That's the
mathematical
thing,
evidence
bro.
to
It's
back that up?
2026. We don't need evidence to support the shape of the Earth.
What?
I
Clip that.
disagree.
Clip that and post it everywhere, bro. Clip that and post it
Yeah,
everywhere. The Globers are gonna burn you at the stake, bro.
It's 2026. Caleb.
You don't need evidence that the earth is curved, so you can just state it as a fact with no evidence.
I might clip the whole
Dude, you crack me
conversation.
up, dude. You remind me of when I first started doing my lives and I didn't know Jack from squat 6 years ago. You remind me of the old Caleb, bro.
The old Caleb. My lives aren't scientific lives. It's all.
Yeah,
No,
I know
true.
that. We all know your
I
lives
re-
aren't scientific lives. You bring up the
Yeah.
worst globe earthers ever.
I relate to that heavily because there's a younger version of Solly in his early 20s going to his coworkers and being like, "All the pictures are fake. Trust me." Like I didn't know anything
No,
else.
I've actually
No
had
arguments.
some pretty intelligent individuals up on my live.
So you
Intelligent
don't
and
want to
compared to
offer any
what?
science or physics to suggest the earth is round today? You admittedly have no evidence, right?
No, that's not why I came up, Caleb.
Oh,
Why'd
so
you come up
but
here?
do you have it or not? Do you have evidence the earth is round or you have nothing? You go on it based on a belief, a religious belief, right?
A religious belief? No, it's not a religious belief. I'm not
Yeah,
religious.
religious. Do you know what I mean when I say religious belief? It's when you don't have evidence for something.
So you're claiming to have evidence or no?
Hold on, do I have a guy?
He doesn't, Caleb. He doesn't need evidence because he was lied to about what year it is.
I want to hear him say he doesn't have
Hold on.
evidence one more time.
You
He's
said
trying to
lied
run
to
from it
about
so
what
hard.
year
But
it
do you
is?
have any evidence that the ocean's surface
Wait,
is convexing?
what year
Pink?
do you think it is right now? So
Do you have
don't
any
know what year
evidence?
it
Yes or
is.
no, Pink? Come on, let's get a no one more time for the chat.
No, Sully, what year is it?
I don't know
What
what year
year
it
is
is.
it?
Do you see how I just answered the question? I don't think we've been given the correct timeline. That's fine if you don't believe that. But
You know,
it's
there's
it's
multiple. You know, there's
obviously-
like other countries that believe we're in different
year is it, Sully?
timelines, right? Based on time and how we produce the year. There's the Gregorian calendar. There's the lunar calendar.
do you-
Like, what are you saying?
Do you think it is another year rather than 2026?
Listen to what Caleb just told you, bro. There's other places on Earth that'll tell you that it is a different year than 2026, depending on which calendar system you use. We use Gregorian here in America, but there's other ways to measure time because
Then
time
why
is a
are we even
construct, and we
talking
developed
about any
mathematical.
other time
You're the one that
other
brought
than
it up.
years? Yeah, why would we?
It
Why
was-
would that even
he's-
matter?
he's
We
like,
all use the
Caleb,
same.
Do you have any evidence of gravity, spin, or curve produced?
He's like,
Yeah,
why are we
you're
talking
not-
about my red herring?
Bro, I can't.
That's funny.
It
I'm
is.
surprised you
but-
still do these lives. Like the amount of times you have just been thoroughly just destroyed. I'm so surprised you
cooked
still
you-
come back. Like you have no self-awareness, bro.
No
Yeah, I cooked you
self-awareness.
so hard that
man.
you had to invite Hasselblad and Baron to come save you, and you
Hon,
still
you
got
a flat-
annihilated.
A flat earther, you can't have it both ways. You're a flat
What?
earther.
And smarter than you. I know it's a lot to take in.
So now we're flat earthers?
You guys lose.
Bro,
either
like you
way.
double speak like it's insane, bro. Your double speak is crazy. Like like literally it brings into question like if you're on medication, like I know you hit the dispensary today, maybe you hit the dab pen too hard, but bro, usually you don't
wow.
want to publicly represent your position when you're intoxicated.
Wow, we're going there, Caleb.
Yeah, you hit the dispensary today, right?
Yeah, I did. So what,
You hit the dab pen after you went there? You've been smoking?
right before this live. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
You should slow down on that shit, bro. I've been sober for a few years. I'm telling you, it does wonders for your neurological system.
Oh, I didn't know we were gonna do that here. That's
You
fine.
don't have to. If you provide evidence that the Earth is curving, we could get back on topic real quick. But you can't do that, so we got to talk about.
Why don't we
other shit.
force him to say if he has evidence or not? Do you have evidence of your claim or you don't need it, right?
No, I don't need evidence.
Dude, I'm done. I can't, bro. I gotta put my kids to bed, bro. That's too funny though, Pink. You crack me up, dog. Keep it up. It's very comedical watching your lives, dude.
Okay, Marco, I'm gonna drop you too, unless you want to say something else.
I feel like we were kind of in the middle of the pressure discussion, and then he came up and the topic got changed. I mean, I'd be happy to talk about something else if you wanted, but if not, I'll just drop.
Yo,
Yeah,
I gotta go,
definitively-
Solly. I appreciate you having me
Much
up
love,
here, bro.
bro.
What I want to say before I leave, though, everybody that's in here, of the 180 viewers, like people should follow Solly and support Solly. If you feel like supporting me, you should definitely follow Solly. He's definitely a solid person in this group. So
I do
Thanks,
appreciate
bro.
you guys being very civil with me and letting me finish, because it's pretty rare when.
yeah, you typically won't get that from the flat Earth community, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty bad right
yeah,
now.
I agree with that, and especially when you join a panel of like 9 people, you're not. I think it's just not a good idea. I don't even go to other lives for that exact reason.
Mhm. So I'll drop. I mean, if I requested again because you were like, oh, it seems like there's no more people requesting, so that's why I requested up. But
Yeah,
I'll drop.
I mean,
If you want more Globers up, I can come up to talk about something else if you want.
I have 3 other people, and I am. I have to use the restroom, so like I gotta
Okay.
get through 3 people quickly.
I'll get
Caleb
off.
left, so it's a good time to get. Okay,
Alright.
it's nice to
Yeah.
meet you, bro. You
Nice
can come
to meet
back
you.
sometime. We'll talk later. Peace. Appreciate everybody. Yeah. Okay, I only have one because one of them's a flat earther and he won't accept no for an answer. The other one's a guy that I've talked to fucking dozens of times, and I just don't have the patience to talk with him again. And we have Lulu. That was a good conversation. That pink conversation was hilarious, bro. What's up, Lulu? What's up, bro?
Hey, it's Luke. Have you ever thought about like the prison planet in 3D, 4D, and 5D dimensions where you kind of like ascend from the flat Earth to the
So do you
upper
think the Earth is a
echelons.
sphere and it's just like there's prison bars instead of a firmament? Like what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, kind of like a firmament, but like
But it's a sphere?
but yeah, but like at the same
Okay.
time, like there's
How
just
do
like
we
there's
do
just
we have
like there's like essentially you can't detect, like there's Kordelinsky plasma clouds above the Earth in space, Lagrange point like 60 and something 70 degrees something
dude,
between
I'm
us and the
you could
moon.
explain this to me a million times. I'm not gonna understand. You believe the Earth is a sphere though, right?
Kind of.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
What is your
gravity
evidence
would collapse onto itself. Uh,
based
yeah.
on what understanding of gravity?
Well, what is it? Like, the gravity is, what is it? Oh, God. You're going to make me use fucking physics.
No, okay. You know what? I gotta piss, and you're fucking intoxicated, brother. It's fine. You prison of the brain is more like it. I love you guys. I'm sorry. I gotta go. I'm not gonna wait 20 minutes for this guy to formulate a sentence. I apologize in advance and after the fact, but I can't do it. I don't believe that was gonna be very fruitful, to be fair. He even says at one point he's like prison planet like supersedes flat Earth. I think that's the point that he made. Like you get away from flat Earth and start believing the Earth is a ball again, except it's like you're trapped here. Or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah. No worries. No worries. No worries. Thanks for all the follows and shit, guys. And yeah, I go live pretty often. I'm trying to go live more often. Caleb's been super helpful with getting my live into a better algorithm lately. And only just do one-on-ones typically. I know that kind of contradicts what I just said with bringing Caleb up, but typically I do just do like one-on-one conversations. I don't do whole panels because it's too much going on. And I know Caleb has decorum, right? Like I know he's not gonna like start cussing and yelling at people, you know, not gonna interrupt too much. It's a pretty pleasant conversation. He's a nice guy to have on here. It was good tonight. Yeah, it was great. Great live. The pink discussion was worth it, dude. That guy, I did shit on him before so bad that he brought up Hasselblad and Baron. Like he specifically told someone in the comments that he wasn't gonna bring them up because he only wanted to do a one-on-one with me. And then once I started like cooking him, he brought up Hasselblad and Baron, and I was like, "Wait, what happened, bro? I thought we were just doing one-on-ones." He's like, "Well, I usually do like fill up the panel and blah blah blah." It's like, okay, bro. New here, but not to flat Earth. Learn tons. Yeah, no worries, no worries. There's a lot of flat earthers on TikTok. Just you'll learn as you go. Like some of the community's cool, some of them are a little abrasive, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. But you know, use discernment when navigating through the community, and you'll be all right. He doesn't need evidence. That's like Shift God last night. If you guys saw Caleb arguing with Shift God, bro, at one point Shift God was literally like, I don't need to know what science is. I don't need to know what magnetic declination is. Like he doesn't. It's just so funny, bro. These like the Globers are getting worse, man. Like the intellectual ones, don't even like. The funniest part about that Shift God versus Caleb thing last night was I think at one point Shift God had like 180 or 190 viewers or something. Dude, I promise you there was not a single Glober in the comments. It was all just flat earthers. We just went over there and took over his whole live. Like it's amazing that he can even save face after that. I'd be so ashamed. Like if I went live to 200 people and it was all Globers just hating on me and cheering for my opponent, dude, I would never go on TikTok ever again because I have humility, bro. Like I can be humbled. Shift God just he can't be humbled, bro. He has I don't know, there's something wrong with that guy. He's delusional, man. It was hilarious. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on TikTok. I I had such a good time, bro. I kept typing like zero Globers, by the way. Like there's no Globers there. It's so funny. Been in their lives and they just gang up and yeah, exactly. That's the thing. A lot of them, like that's why I have respect for Caleb and Angels and like anybody who can get on this platform and just do one-on-ones. Like I have mad respect for that because it's not easy because they're gonna ask you questions that you can't answer. Which is the whole goal for a lot of these people. Like the thing is like if you can do this without the support of another person, like it shows a lot, you know, and you don't see, are there any Globers that just do one-on-ones? I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe if there is, I haven't seen them, but I don't think there's any Globers that ever do just like one-on-ones. It's always like multiple of them. Y'all did the exact same thing. I don't know what that's in reference to. Acting like he clowned Caleb. Yeah, I know. Even after he kicked Caleb, he was like, "See, I told you guys what was gonna happen." He's talking to an entire flat Earth audience, by the way. And he's like, "See, family." He's calling us his family and shit. Like he really feels like he still has supporters in his audience. Like, dude, nobody's here for you, bro. It was so funny. He's like, "I told you guys that was gonna happen. I knew I was gonna cook him." Like to an entire, I don't know, 150 at that point, a group of flat earthers. Like it was so sad, bro. It was so sad. Tiffany does them. Tiffany's the worst, dude. You can't even get like intellectual conversations with Globers on TikTok, hardly. There's only like a handful of people that are even capable of it, respective to like the entire community. Flat earthers are so dumb. We'll just end on a high note. Yeah, we can just all believe what that guy says arbitrarily. Just subscribe to his worldview for no reason. Defund NASA? I think there's been multiple attempts at that throughout recent history. Like they've been sued and stuff like that. But I mean, you're going up against like what are probably the most expensive lawyers. That's like trying to sue Disney, bro. Like you're probably not gonna get anywhere with that. Earth is round, but it's not a sphere. Yeah, that's probably true. More than likely. Anyway, I've been holding my bladder for like probably close to an hour, like giving myself some severe trauma doing this. So I gotta go. But I love you guys and I appreciate everybody that followed. I hope to see some of you guys in the future. Probably go live again tomorrow night. Usually I go live in the evenings if I feel like it. It really depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood, but usually I go live every day. Try to. So I appreciate you guys leaving already. You must have just got here. Yeah, I've been live for I don't know how long. 2 hours. Yeah, usually 2 hours is like my limit. I can't do this for very long. You're so confused. That's okay. That's fine. It's okay to be confused, brother. Nobody's judging you. Thanks, Ollie. No, thank you guys. Thank you guys. You don't have to thank me, bro. I really just thank Caleb. I mean, my accounts get banned a lot. I get shadow banned and shit. And he actually sees it and he knows. I think he knows that that's likely what's happening. He even said something about that. I won't repeat what he said, but he's really just trying to lend a hand. So I'm really grateful for him because without him, this wouldn't have happened tonight. Like objectively, my live was not. I don't know. I had like 50 or 60 viewers at one point, but I had no guests. And then he came up, and of course that brought people in. So really just thank Caleb. Seriously, you don't have to thank me. I didn't even do much tonight. Appreciate you, brother. I didn't realize you were still here, but much love, man. Shout out to Caleb. He's one of the only real ones left, in my opinion, bro. Like, and I'll say that with a straight face, bluntly, and you can judge me for it if you want, but we're supposed to be learning here, you know, and if attempting to teach when we can, but you never stop being a student. I think a lot of people forget that. You're always going to be a student. So, tomorrow, same time, likely, I usually go live anywhere from like 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, or 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. I cannot speak right now, dude. Way more focused on going to the bathroom, bro. I gotta get off of here. I love you guys, man. Seriously, and thank you guys very much. Shout out to Caleb, and yeah, we'll run it back probably tomorrow. And we'll just pick up where we left off. But peace, everybody. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the viewers. I appreciate you guys a lot. So we'll talk later. Peace, guys. That Jonathan guy is pretty cool. I agree with that. Peace, everybody. Bye bye.